The Opie and Anthony Show on XM 202, featuring Opie, Anthony, and James Norton.
We have nothing to do with this.
What? What is this?
Garbage! You know what? I can't take this anymore. It's an awful, awful radio show.
We're really, really mean-spirited, evil people who can't see the good in anything.
I think we've done a good job so far of being open-minded and broad-minded.
You know, like when you try to call the police when I touch you.
I don't call the police. I just pretend, because it makes you touch me a little harder.
Oh, God.
Excellence in broadcasting.
It's too bad you got to have some form of intelligence to listen to the Opie and Anthony Show. Let's be honest, you probably didn't graduate high school. You probably have 3 or 4 kids, and you're probably a grandma at the age of 32. So I guess we have to give that much to you.
Tanya, I'd like to apologize.
Why would you apologize? Go away.
Opie.
Jail is better than this misery I'm in.
Anthony.
I just think Nazi, and I can't get it out of my head.
Jim Norton.
Hilarious! Hilarious, people!
You guys ready to laugh?
It's got to be the greatest thing ever.
I'd sooner have a water drinking contest. It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Now you do what they told you. 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 And 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 now you do what they told you. Those who die are justified for wearing the badge and your clothes in white. You're justified. Those that died for wearing the badge and your clothes in white. Those who died are justified for wearing the badge and your clothes in white. You're justified. Those who died for wearing the badge and your clothes in white. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Killing in the name of. Killing in the name of. Now you do what they told you. 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 Now you're under control. Now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. Now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. Don't you die. you tell me. You I won't do what 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 you tell me. Motherfucker!
Oh, I wish I could have screamed that right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's the edited version. What can I tell you?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show. We got a new name for this show. Dead Men Walking.
Dead Men Walking.
You're listening to the Dead Men Walking Show.
You're walking around with targets on your back. It's pretty much over, Johnny. Yuck.
It's the One virus spreading across America. For now.
For the time being.
We're not stupid. We know how this is going to end.
Yeah.
I had a bad dream that Imus got fired. What?
Oh,
Yeah, right. Like that would ever happen. For a throwaway line? What?
just something he said. Something he said. That's his job. Just say stuff.
It's good to know you work for a company that completely doesn't support talent. Holy crap.
Well, he must have said something that was against the FCC.
He must have went on the air and just yelled and screamed hate speech all morning.
Must have been the F word or something. Sexual. Did he try doing our egg shooting trick from the old days?
Yeah, right.
Where a blind guy caught the eggs in a basket that were fired by a hooker?
I have no delusions. We have said and we have done much worse than Imus. And if the company could just throw him to the curb, how much time do we really have on regular radio? Are you kidding me?
Especially now that what I'm hearing now, the whole big buzz that's going around is this is just the beginning. Like they're all popping champagne corks over Imus's firing. A lot of broadcasters included, and they just don't realize the repercussions this is going to have in the broadcast industry. It's all well and fine, believe me, until your job is on the line. We're realists. Me and Ope have been through this 2 times before, where we have gotten the boot. Many times before, where we came within a pube hair of getting thrown off the air. So we're veterans of this. It's okay. We've been in the crap before. We understand the situation. But there are a lot of people that are cheering, popping champagne, like I said, about the Imus situation, not realizing, dude, this makes you not safe either. This is a precedent-setting situation where a person was fired for something he said, regardless of what it was, how offensive it was, who it offended. It wasn't against FCC regulations. I hear a lot of talk about filing FCC complaints against Don Imus. A lot of people did that. And not realizing that this isn't FCC's territory. This is what Imus said, regardless of how offensive it was to people, was protected speech. It was absolutely protected as far as the FCC goes.
And people are like, what?
It's true.
That is the truth.
I was listening to quite a few programs last night and came across one on XM. It's a very militant black station. And they were talking about writing to the FCC, and what Don Imus did was wrong. That the FCC regulates obscene, indecent content, and then said racist and sexist comments. Well, I would like to correct anybody that thinks that. The FCC does not regulate racist or perceived racist comments or sexist comments. Sex is one thing. We can't go on the air anymore like we used to and do a lot of sexual-oriented material. That's taboo. That is what the FCC has said you can't. If you send in a complaint that says, I heard a station take a girl, use a portion of her body as some kind of container, and it was very explicit, you will get a fine. I defy you to find one instance where the FCC has fined a show or a station for a racist comment. It's protected speech. It's offensive. It hurts people's feelings, but it's protected. People don't have the right in this country to not be offended. There is no right that says you are protected from having your feelings hurt. That is not what this whole thing is based on. There is a freedom of speech issue here. I've heard a lot of people argue that point, that it is not a freedom of speech issue because the government isn't involved in this. I think they are in some capacity, but even so, let's say they're not. Let's say you have an interest group that is being led by a couple of people with credentials and credibility that is definitely in question over there.
Shaky at best.
Shaky at best with their past record, which somehow disappears anyway. If they don't like what they're hearing, now they have the opportunity to have you removed from the airwaves because they personally don't like what's being said. This is against everything that free speech is about. And then you can say, okay, you have the freedom to say it. They then have the freedom to protest it. Absolutely. That's part of the American way. That's part of freedom of speech. There's a freedom of speech to rebut what is said that you find offensive. It becomes an infringement on your freedom of speech when these people don't like what you're saying and then use mob tactics, terror, and holding a cloud of fear over your head that if you say these words, your livelihood will be taken away based on nothing more than the fact that they are personally offended by what you're saying. That is the ultimate in protected speech. Why would the First Amendment protect speech that everybody enjoys? If you go on the air one day and say something that no one has a problem with, why does that need to be protected? It doesn't, because everyone liked it. There wasn't a complaint. A speech that needs protection is speech that people find offensive, people don't agree with, but it's America, and you're allowed to say it without the fear that your livelihood, the pursuit of happiness in this country, will be taken away from you. And we are now in this time where a victory has been chalked up, blood is in the water, and we're seeing a feeding frenzy. We are now the fresh meat in the water. I heard it last night. There are people playing clips of this very program, demanding that we be removed from the airwaves. And it's just ridiculous. It is un-American. It's racist. And something has to be done about this. A line has to be drawn.
It's also quite hypocritical. Let's
absolutely hypocritical.
Not forget to throw that in the old.
I heard more excuses last night. I do a lot of research, people. Don't think I just sit back and don't educate myself as to what's going on, especially when it concerns our livelihood.
We actually do a lot more than just fart jokes.
Yeah.
We try to be informed.
We love the fart jokes, believe me.
We just knew the fart jokes were the easy way to the top of the range.
Of course.
I guess we're going to have to work a little harder, and we're up for the challenge.
But Reverend Al and Jesse Jackson have now chalked up this big victory. So did Al go away? No. Al doesn't go away.
He said he's not ready to pop champagne corks
Sometimes yet. Al goes away, Sometimes Al doesn't go away. His eyes roll back white, lifeless eyes like a doll's eyes.
I'd have just a little more respect for this whole thing if it was spearheaded by anyone else than these two.
Anyone but, and for some reason, this gets brushed under the carpet every time. And I've heard it called a distraction from the real issue, which is hate speech. Not entertaining radio from a comedy show. I'd like to say that, too, by the way. I want to preface our program. Maybe we ought to play a goddamn disclaimer every day that this is indeed a comedy show. We are well within our rights to parody public figures in any way, shape, or form. Parody has been defended by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has defended the right for people to parody public figures. You can't be put to a trial and have your livelihood taken away for parody. Reverend Al is a public figure. If we decide, and this was a bit that was very controversial last night on this program I was listening to that was calling for us to be removed from the airwaves. Reverend Al was going to to Africa because there's still a slave trade going on. So he wanted to go over and buy slaves to set them free. So we did a bit about how ironic it is that Reverend Al, this speaker of the black race and freedom fighter, is going over and actually purchasing slaves, regardless of the intent or anything like that. It's kind of this bit of irony that I think was ripe for parody. By the way, that bit was done years ago. Years ago.
Many years ago.
When he did that. Look up when he did that. That's when it was. It's 7 years old, by the way. That bit was 7 years old. And it was ripe for parody. Just the fact that we could imitate Al Sharpton going to Africa to buy slaves. It's ludicrous. It's crazy. But there's a bit of dark humor there that was very funny. It was played in a context of hatred on a program last night, with all humor taken out of it. Again, this is a comedy show, and the show I was listening to is a very serious show.
It's a black militant show.
Black militant. I heard racism that was not based in comedy at all. I heard white people being called racist, white people being called deficient, intelligently deficient. The callers would call in with just these ridiculous notions about the white race and completely racist. And the host would just let him ramble on and agree with them. And again, not in the comedy context at all. This is very serious stuff. We do a parody bit on a public figure based completely on the irony of Reverend Al purchasing slaves. And it gets a call to arms to, we're next on the list. Look out, we're coming for you. This is the stuff I heard. Look out, we're coming for you next. It didn't end with Imus. Thank you, Imus, for opening everyone's eyes and starting this rolling. Reverend Al himself said, this isn't over. It starts here. There's now this talk of a movement where now every show is going to be monitored. And if you say something a certain group doesn't like or agree with, they have the power now to remove you from the airwaves, from your livelihood, from your job, from your pursuit of happiness and well-being in this country, not based on any rules that were put forth by the FCC, which, by the way, we're tough enough to adhere to, which, by the way, we adapted our show to adhere to those rules because we knew those were the rules that were in place, and we didn't want to break those because we wanted to keep our job. But now things are changing where your freedom of speech is being taken away by a certain few, a very few, that make loud noises. It's not the majority. It is a very small minority of the minority that is now saying, if we don't like what you're saying personally, we're going to have you removed from the airwaves.
And they do it by pressuring the advertisers.
Pressuring advertisers, whatever the mob tactic. This is what the mafia does. Whatever mob tactics of extortion or whatever else they're using to do this, It is an infringement on a freedom of speech, period. There is my opening monologue.
And here's the latest.
With advertisers running for cover, protesters outside the CBS Broadcast Center, and Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton inside, the network's president Les Moonves made the move to fire Imus. Sharpton says the airwaves cannot be used to commercialize sexism and racism.
It was our appeal to really have the second shoe of justice drop in this particular case. This afternoon, the other shoe dropped.
MSNBC dropped Imus on Wednesday. And if the newly unemployed I-Man needs a pick-me-up, this may be it. Pledges to his charity radiothon are spiking, with many of the callers expressing support for Imus. John Montone, 1010 Wins, reporting live from outside the MSNBC studios in Secaucus.
I think we
go.
I think we have one more
consolation.
Clip too. Hold on a minute.
It was our appeal.
Okay. Yeah, we want to do something good today, believe it or not, with this whole thing. And it's very interesting. I think people are showing their support for Imus by donating to the Radiothon. Mm-hmm. You know, the media is trying to portray this whole thing like all of America agrees with what happened. But all the polls I've been seeing overnight, it's a lot more people are saying that he should not have been fired over this thing.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
It was dumb. It was stupid. You know, all that crap, but he shouldn't have been fired for it.
The companies were strong-armed. They folded, and they fired him.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. Sorry.
A show was taken away that entertained a hell of a lot of people every day.
Unfortunately, and this has been the case throughout history, and of course throughout our history, Opie and Anthony show, whenever we've run into trouble and gotten the boot, the people that make the noise make a big noise, and they are very few, especially when compared to the people that enjoy the show. Unfortunately, you'll never get the noise and the turnout of all of your fans. People that enjoy things just enjoy it. When it's taken away, they get angry, but they live their lives. They go about their lives. It's not one of those things that they get up and protest about, but it doesn't mean they didn't really enjoy something, and that was taken away from them. So now, you know, a very small amount of people are able to disrupt the lives of a lot of people.
Yeah, millions of people.
Millions.
So the WFAN 18th Annual Radiothon benefiting the Tomorrow's Children's Fund, the CJ Foundation for SIDS, and the Imus Ranch continues this morning. I guess Imus's wife is doing it this morning. She's on the radio with Charles McCord.
Deidre.
Charles didn't get fired yet, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they'll fire him after he raises money for sick kids. This is an effed up business.
It really is.
To donate and tell them that the donation's coming from the Opie and Anthony show, and that you know, you're supporting Imus today. Let's do something good with this tragedy, and I do call it a tragedy. The guy did 40 years of radio.
We want all our listeners to really be as generous as you can, and you don't have to give huge amounts of money. Believe me, whatever you can afford shows your support and actually does something good. It's helping sick kids, which is what Imus, I really know, wanted to spend his last 2 days on the air doing. He got to spend 1 day doing it, and for some reason, which is beyond me, beyond my understanding, he was fired before being able to do that last day of his charity event. I don't understand that.
What does this say about us? I've lost all confidence in this company. You know, I woke up this morning, I'm like, all right, this is our mission now. We'll continue until they get rid of us, which will happen. And I just hope it's not over something so outrageous that we don't lose our entire radio careers.
Yeah.
That's our philosophy now.
What else can we think? For anybody listening, especially any corporate people listening, what else can we think? There's no other thought process that can go through our heads when we see the way this played out and the way our show is, that it will only end badly.
Yeah, of course. And Imus was, he was the big dog in this company. They got rid of him like that We don't have a boss. The guy that brought us back to regular radio, his last day is today, but he's been gone for about a week.
Yeah.
You know, Joel. He's been a lame duck for about a month.
Yeah,
The new guy starts on Monday, and I don't know. Whatever. Who knows if he likes us or not? I have no clue.
I love Dan
Who knows?
Mason.
We haven't even talked to the guy yet, and we're supposed to be pretty important to the radio division. Whatever.
Dan's a good egg.
We'll find out in the coming weeks. So the Radiothon, it's helping sick kids, basically. 877-877-6464. Spread the word. We want to raise a ton of money for Mr. Imus today. I think it would be a great way for him to I don't know, lead this business. Well,
if he can get a record-setting total on this.
Donations are ridiculous, and they're crediting our fans, by the way. The Imus Camp sent this over today. They compared like the totals, total phone calls from last year and this year. Last year, 6 to 7 a.m. hour, 320 calls. This year, 472. It gets better. 7 to 8 a.m. Last year, 549 calls. This year, 881. 8 to 9 a.m. Last year, 569 calls. This year, 1,123.
Nice.
9 to 10 a.m. last year, 210 calls. This year, 1,103 phone calls and donations. 10 to 11 a.m., 94 calls last year. This year, 867. The power of the people. 11 a.m. to noon. Last year, 82 phone calls. This year, 359, and they're crediting this program. So I'm pretty proud of the Opie and Anthony audience. Big time.
Let's totally knock it out of the park this today, the last day of the event. And let's just show them what our listeners are capable of doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, obviously, Imus, you know, a lot of people don't realize this. The guy's been doing radio for how long now?
Almost 40 years.
Yeah, and now he's sitting there, and we know the feeling. Me and Opie were talking on the phone last night. We know how this feels. To sit there after being fired, watching the television, watching all the reports about you being fired, and you're sitting there, and it sinks in that, oh, my God, I don't have a radio job to go to.
Yeah.
You know, and the guy genuinely enjoys doing radio. So
I was having flashbacks last night.
Yeah.
And I was telling Lindsay, don't mind me, man, but this is like, I live this. All of a sudden, you're seeing the crawl with your name. You're turning on every news channel, and they're just rushing and get people to talk badly about you. Mm-hmm. And half the people that were talking badly about Imus last night, I'm like, what a hypocrite. That guy was on his show like 100 times.
Yeah.
And that guy, what?
Well,
and then you got Keith Olbermann, the biggest pussy in broadcasting. He has to tell a drunken Imus story that's like 20 years old. What a douche. But they're all piling on, and they're coming out of the woodwork to just completely kill this guy. And I'm like, half you guys were on his show when you needed promotion for something, and you're making believe you never did his show.
You know, if you're going to tell a 20-year-old story, why not just tell about the Tawana Brawley case? That's 20 years old. How about you tell that story? And how Stephen Pagonis still hasn't been paid by Reverend Al.
Yeah. Well, we're broadcasting from a radio station called Free FM.
Oof.
The phone number for the Radiothon to help sick kids, and you're helping out Mr. Imus, and you're making a statement today, even if it's just $1, man. 877-877-6464. That's 877-877-6464. We'll continue with the Opie and Anthony Show.
Hear what everyone else is talking about. O&A Uncut and Live continuing the show on XM Satellite Radio starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. Visit xmradio.com to subscribe.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
way up against the wall. Got money, don't want everything, he wants it all. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take that away from me. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take that away from me. Among the pure, got money, let's go dancing on the backs of the bruised. Got money's not one to choose. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take that away from me. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take that away from me.
Good morning. It's the Opie and Anthony Show. The O&A virus spreading across America. I'm a bit sad today.
I feel like playing a little music every so often. That's nice.
We're going to play a lot of music this morning. I think that's the safe bet.
That's nice.
So we have no idea what we're allowed to do anymore on the radio.
It's just ridiculous, man.
This is I'm having an anxiety attack. I've never been scared to do radio. But you said if you guys get canned and history repeats itself, my career will take off again.
Well, good.
Oh, that's right. You kind of did well when we were off the air.
You'll be offered a network show as soon as we get fired. Again.
Anxiety is pumping through my heart.
Really?
After your speech, I'm going, well, how do you follow that? And, you're just like, you're going, well, I'm not going to be Paul Mercurio. I'm just going to shut up and sit here.
All right, then shut up. The WFAN 18th Annual Radiothon benefiting the Tomorrow's Children's Fund, the CJ Foundation for SIDS and the Imus Ranch continues this morning. They're getting record donations. This is making a statement, I'm telling you. Mr. Imus appreciates all your support. To donate, call 877-877-6464. He's helping sick kids. He's been doing it for 18 years, and unfortunately our company decided, who cares? We got to clean up this situation immediately.
Yeah.
So, but they got some people over there doing it anyway, including Imus's wife, Deirdre. The phone number again, 877-877-6464. When you call, tell them either you're supporting Imus or you're calling from the Opie and Anthony show. That would be appreciated. We got a TV star on the line, Patrice O'Neal. Patrice!
What's up?
Patrice is making the rounds.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna bop Geraldo on the nose last night on Hannity and Combs.
You know why? It's confusing. I was like you, Ant, right? Listening and watching everything.
Yeah.
And here's the trend. You don't see anybody really. All I saw was a lot of old people on TV, and I really think it was a deal between old civil rights black people and old white people, and they made a deal.
They finally shook hands?
They made a deal, and what the deal was a couple, because you listen to Les Moonves' speech. The third word out of his mouth, not literally, but was diversity. And I think they traded about 3 or 4 black faces on MSNBC and CBS News. And they traded it for hip-hop. They traded it for hip-hop. The language that's going on right now has nothing to do with what you guys do. See, Don Imus was an easy mark.
Yeah.
He had a lot of enemies. Like, a lot of times, I stopped hearing stories about Nappy-Headed Ho and started just hearing stories about, how he, what he did when he was 3 and old pictures of his face. Like you said, he's been doing this thing for 40-something years or 30-something years. They could have got him last week. They could have got him 2 weeks before.
They could have got him 2 years ago.
He was an easy mark because there was no outcry for him as a personal human being. So it was easy for the news or they, the conspiratory they, to remove him easily and get rid of an old school sitcom icon, sitcom hero in Kramer. So what they did is now they're going after. This is why I was so mad at young. You should have seen nothing but young, except for my dumb ass, nothing but young black people on TV saying this is not going. Do you think that the white infrastructure cares about Nappy-Headed Ho? Who cares? It went from Imus to hip-hop, and that's all they've been comparing it to. So Imus is gone. He is gone. CBS got rid of him because it was easy to do. Now the game's going to start. Hip-hop has got too much power. Like when you guys said call into Imus's show, and them phones went from 200 to 1,100, what happens, right, when some old white person's kid is at a concert and some young black dude, young N-word, is on stage saying, throw your hands in the air, and 10,000 white kids say, yes, master. They can't deal with that. Hip-hop is next, fellas. It ain't the O&A. It ain't they could have got y'all a long time ago. Y'all are too powerful for the demographic, man. Young people. This was an old dinosaur that they served up on a platter so that they can go after these loudmouth and old black people don't care about hip-hop. This ain't even a black thing. It's an old people thing. Old black folks that did the civil rights movement, they were not satisfied with the benefits because all we got was a language that they don't use. That's what we've been left. I benefit, Def Jam benefits, rap benefits, but not all black people, senators, the Black Caucus, they served it up. And they made a deal.
It's a good point.
It's a great point.
Because he kind of represented that old school, the final, the last bastion of that old school civil rights.
And I'm not even saying where I'm sitting on these shows going, my God. And it's a scary thing because, first of all, the news people it's just scary. They just don't care. They just doing what they're supposed to do with a bunch of That's why I said yesterday, just let's just say we want double standards, which we quietly and unofficially had a deal. We made a deal for language. I can say any words I want about any race, and you can't. That was the deal. All we had to do was be quiet about it. You didn't see one Jay-Z, you heard all it was waiting for, and you know why you didn't see Jay-Z? Because he was smart enough not to open his mouth. So was it 50? They found Snoop, and Snoop said what they needed him to say for them to go, thank you. Fired, Imus. Nice talking to you. We can now get this on. We can get this going, because what they did now, they propped up young black women, and this was so perfect.
Yeah.
And when I listen to Imus's statements over and over, you can hear the uh-oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
The uh-oh.
Like, here it comes.
You hear the uh-oh.
He's been around long enough to know. He knew very early on. He saw the media frenzy revving up, and he knew it was over.
They propped up an image of hip-hop as the victim.
What amazes me, Patrice, early on, Ant and I were screaming and yelling, going, this is not a black versus white thing. Black people have got to wake up. They propped up the image of why they hate hip-hop. Young, black, non-street women were propped up as the moniker for this game. Imus couldn't have been more dumb to say that about these girls. And like you said, as we're making jokes and stuff, when they said, oh, good, this is it. Whenever they made the deal, could have been 5 years ago and nobody was dumb enough to do it yet. And when he said nappy-headed hoe about these young, lesbians. You know, Imus did these girls a favor, by the way. I know this is going to be an outrageous statement, but you know, they lost the championship, and they would have went away, and not one of us would have been able to name one player on that team.
Could you recognize one woman on the Tennessee team?
Now they're being paraded out on Oprah yesterday afternoon. They met with Imus last night, but they decided that they're going to have an official statement sometime today. They're milking it just like anyone else, and they're becoming media darlings and stars themselves, and they wouldn't have if Imus didn't said what he said.
Opie, I'm so mad because I do jokes about everybody and everything.
Yeah.
And I hate women's sports. It stinks, it's boring, and no one cares about it. That's how I know this is some kind of weird game somebody playing, because no one cares about those girls on any other level. So, oh my God, we hurt them. I know that they're not hurt, because I know black people deal with stuff all day long that has to do with nasty words. We love each other using nasty words.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you guys down at the comedy club just ripping each other.
Where the hell is young black people, man?
Yeah.
Well,
people that this matters to. Don't matter to these old fogey marching people who don't feel satisfied until they got a couple of dumb choices on MSNBC. A couple of, this is Leroy Johnson reporting from MSNBC. Who cares?
Well, Jesse Jackson apparently, because he said all day, all night, all white, and he wanted that changed.
And what did Les Moonves say? Diversity.
Yep.
Blackface is about to be on. We traded a couple of news jobs. Who is the Black Caucus to hip-hop? They do nothing. And here's what's going to happen. This is the last conspiracy theory. When the hammer hits on hip-hop, right, they're going to look for all the leaders that's been leading this charge against Imus to lead the charge to help save hip-hop when the hammer comes down.
To save hip-hop?
When you guys start going, man, I was listening to WWNIG last night, and, Johnny X said we should hang. It's like now every white radio guy, every white broadcaster is going to go, what about hip-hop? The next move is hip-hop, dude, and it's going to be through the CBSs and the MS, whoever owns these big corporations who own black imagery, and the game is on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were yelling and screaming early on. Wake up, this is not a black versus white thing.
Patrice has been very insightful when it comes to these things.
But you still should have bopped Geraldo on the nose last night.
Well, that's what. Here's what I figured out. How I was paraded around like George Jefferson. This is why they like me.
Yeah. George Jefferson.
To come back. I was taking a funny angle. I was trying to be funny. I was
right.
trying to be funny even when stuff like this is going on.
You're a comic. Of course you were.
Now, I started saying, now, if I had said what I really want to say funny was like, listen, you guys are just trying to recreate Bill O'Reilly. You know, Sean Hannity really is funny because he really tried to bait Geraldo into like that wonderful ratings thing that him and O'Reilly did, where they could just yell at each other.
Yeah.
Geraldo was just tired, old tired Puerto Rican who he was tired. He's like, I can't do this but more than once, Sean. Come on. So what I'm watching him every time I'm trying to make a point about what is going down. That's when it starts kind of getting weird. Now, Sean is too smooth to say that that's the game, but that's the game. Is to say, oh, you're making too much. Let me tell you what John Gibson said to me on the radio yesterday.
Yeah,
I said something about this, and I said, look, man, this is because John Gibson really likes hip hop. He really does. So he's like. He's an old white man that was never allowed to be as cool as he wanted to be. Hip-hop is cool to a lot of white people. They want to enjoy the whole culture, and they're not able to. That's the rule. That's the double standard that everybody's upset about. And I was talking about it, and at some point John Gibson goes, very clever. Like it's a Batman episode.
Very clever.
Very clever. And he didn't mean it condescending. He meant it,
Touche, Mr. O'Neill.
Yeah.
But what art form does it stop at, you know?
Yeah.
Does it stop at artists? You know, you can't understand.
It's scary times for everybody.
Just it. There's no defining. It was bad enough trying to define what the hell the FCC meant.
Yeah.
Now there's people's personal feelings being hurt, and we got to try to define what hurts people and what group is being severely injured and scarred for life because of words.
You know, speaking of words, yesterday I went to lunch and my girlfriend sees this baby, right? And she goes to the parents, "Oh, what a cute baby." And I actually grabbed her and said, you better not say that anymore because that implies that there are ugly babies out there.
Yeah.
And I'm not even kidding. I'm like, that's where it's going. Because to say what a cute baby means that you're acknowledging that there actually could be an ugly baby out there.
Infant Americans, Opie. They don't like being called babies anymore.
People laugh, but, you know, that's where it's going. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but, you know, somewhere in between is where it's going to end up settling.
This is why Patrice is so brilliant. Bonnie said this. Wait, hold on, Patrice. But this is why he's so... Patrice gets white people mad, and there isn't a black comic that can get white people mad, and Patrice is so good and so funny that he gets everybody, you know what I mean? And he makes them think, and they get mad. Just like that lady, well, I'm taking away my money for the homeless shelter. Oh, really? That's a good solution, because you did some jokes, right? It's just a liberal hypocrites.
Dude, let me tell you something, man.
Holy crap.
Let me tell you something.
Yikes, Rich.
Well, no.
Just hang in there. Just fire out a one-liner here and there. And we'll promote your gig. You're funny on the stage. These are...
Well, that was a good point.
It was all right. Let us do the heavy lifting right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
Opie's brutal to Rich.
You guys been through this game, man.
Oh, yeah.
And you know something I learned, too, just sitting around for my little news run, is that hypocrisy is so accepted that it's stupid to try to prove it.
Yeah.
Because I was watching this lady from The View. She goes...
Oh, how awful was Elizabeth Hasselbeck or Beck on Hannity and Combs last night?
Oh, my God, she goes, oh, Imus, Imus, go die, Imus, leave, Imus, he should go, you're a jerk. How about Rosie? See, I got to go to work, and I don't know. See,
yeah, she was all brave about the Imus thing, and then God bless Sean Hannity. And honestly, we make fun of him, but Alan Combs did a great job last night on Hannity and Combs. Fair is fair. Sean, brings up what Rosie said about the Asians. I don't even know if we could say that slur. Who knows? And Sean basically saying, look, I like you, but if you had to go, you know, both ways here. Don't you understand that? And then she's trying to say that she believes in freedom of speech, and Alan Combs called her out, like, how think it's okay to get rid of Imus for what he did, basically?
People don't understand freedom of speech. That's what I was trying to say before. There is this complete lack of understanding of freedom of speech. It is the freedom to say things that might hurt other people's feelings. There's no protection in this country against having your feelings hurt. So knock it off. Stop crying.
Right. Hey, Patrice, we got to take a break. You're heading to the airport, huh?
Yeah, man. I'll see you guys in Vegas, man.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. We're doing the first stop on the O&A Traveling Virus Comedy Tour. Right after the show, we're all flying to Vegas. The show's tomorrow night. That's so weird. Tomorrow night, we're going to be in Vegas doing a comedy show with Patrice O'Neill, Rich Voss, Jim Norton, and the rest of the gang. 8 or 9 comedians. It's at the Joint, the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino there, called the Joint. Tickets still on sale through Ticketmaster. You got Norton, Rogan, Joe Rogan, Louis C.K., Frank Caliendo, Bob Kelly, Rich Voss, Otto and George, Ralphie May, Patrice O'Neill. We're also holding a press conference out there by the pool, so we encourage the press to show up for that. And we got some...
that ought to be nothing but questions about the virus tour, I'm sure.
Well, we got some calls from from Super Agent Bob Eatman last night, and he said that his phone's ringing off the hook. See, we've been kind of avoiding the media because, we're next and we know it, so we're hanging low. There's nothing we could say right now that's going to make any sense.
We've actually gotten smarter over the years. We know that if we stand there and talk to the press... it will get twisted around. They will pull stuff out and make us look bad because that's their job.
But supposedly, some of the national press and the local press, they're heading to the Joint.
Well,
the Hard Rock Hotel and
Welcome,
Casino.
because it's going to be us and a bunch of comics that'll just rip you apart. I can't wait.
Yeah, that will be fun. Patrice, have a great flight and thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
Hey,
all right. What, Rich?
Oh, nothing.
All right, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm just very, very sad today.
No, I know, but I thought
they
make a good point. I think Patrice is my favorite comic, and he's brilliant. And
well, Patrice was smart enough to early on to go, hello, black people, this isn't a black versus white thing. It's much, much bigger than that. And we try to say that. And the black radio hosts here in New York, they're just a bunch of dummies. Steve Harvey basically saying it's a double standard and that you can't say what I say and all that. It's like,
well, why can't we? I think today we ought to play a little bit of that Steve Harvey that we played a couple weeks ago, the redneck thing, and tell me what the difference is.
Yeah, please tell me what the difference is.
Especially if people are starting to clamor about bits that we do, parody of Reverend Al and things like that. When Steve Harvey is doing this stereotypical white redneck bit where it's nothing but stereotypes of Southern white people.
Right.
But that's acceptable, and what any white people do on the radio isn't.
Right. And Patrice, when this whole thing was going on down, he was just shaking his head going,
yeah.
Don't they understand what's going on? They're coming after us next. And he said us meaning black people, black entertainment. He's like, what a bunch of dummies. People got to wake up immediately.
Well, after the champagne corks are popped and the bottles are finished, they're going to be waking up with a bit of a hangover, realizing,
yeah,
what did we do? We kind of focused the light on the hip-hop, on hip-hop music, and it could be a problem.
Right. Anyway, we're promoting WFAN's 18th annual Radiothon. This is Imus's thing. He's done it for 18 years, and unfortunately our company decided, let him go. Before he could, do one more day of raising money for sick kids.
What would one more day have done?
I don't
know what the damage would have been to have him just finish out this his career pretty much on a great note of raising money for children. I don't get it. And I'm not yelling at anybody. I'm not making accusations. I just am at a complete lack of understanding about why they would do that on
I don't get it. I don't get it either. And if you've been following Imus in the news, he's been pretty controlled.
He's not going to go off on
there are jocks. There are jocks. Like you give Anthony and myself a last day on the radio. Oh, it's going to be ugly. Absolutely.
It's going to be
it's going to be
very
ridiculous.
Nasty show. At best, they just take us off.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. But someone like Imus, who's been with the company forever, they know his true character. They could have looked him in the eye and said, Imus, we are going to let you do your Radiothon tomorrow, meaning today, and that is going to be it. You would have barely heard a peep from Imus. He wouldn't have went after anybody, really. Maybe a couple side little jabs, but nothing too crazy where people are like, oh my God, how could they have let him on the air for one more day to raise money for sick kids? They know his character, but they get so scared in the offices that are way, way above us. We're trying to get Imus's wife on the show today, because we really want to do something good with what I'm calling a complete tragedy. We're trying to raise as much money as possible for Imus's ranch, Tomorrow's Children's Fund, the CJ Foundation for SIDS, And the phone number is 877-877-6464. That's 877-877-6464. You know, make a donation. If it's only a couple bucks, that's cool. And just tell them, you know, you support Imus, you support, it's coming from the Opie and Anthony show, whatever you want to do. But, you know, make your voice heard today. I guess donations are way up. They're crediting us, and they're also crediting, of course, that there's just a lot of outrage with Imus's fans as well. Mm-hmm. The phone number, 877-877-6464. I apologize again,
That's
Rich. All right. Yeah, I'm just in a lousy mood, and I got no voice. It's Opie and Anthony.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
You're checking out the Opie and Anthony Show. The O&A virus spreading across America. I'm sad.
I know.
It's a tragedy.
I got that feeling that I've gotten so many times before when we've been on the firing line.
Yeah.
Like all last night, I had that weird, like, depressed kind of internal feeling that you get when you're in big trouble. You know, and it's odd because it wasn't us, but I still wound up getting that feeling.
Hey, we got a couple things really fast. This show's moving really fast today. This piece was just on the news.
Rockefeller Center, we're live over that right now. Protesters are starting to gather. Now, these are people in support of Don Imus, who, like you said, was recently fired from his radio show by CBS for the comments he made about the Rutgers women's basketball team. This is a story we've been telling you about all morning long. Now, these are marching in support of free speech from 50th and all the way to 52nd and 6th. This is right near the CBS corporate headquarters. Of course, we'll stay here and keep you posted as more details do come in.
Some people are gathering.
Yeah.
E-Rock, where was that? Where are they gathering?
They're in front of the Today Show at 30 Rock.
Okay.
All right. And now we go to the phone. Hello.
Stand by, man. You ready to talk to Chuck and Deirdre?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Mr. Imus's wife. They're doing the radiothon.
Girls. Hate mail. If you got hate mail, send it to my husband.
That's 14 and a half minutes after the hour. What? John, we are... Can you imagine? Opie and Anthony.
Hey, listen, I got to tell you guys, I'm really sad today, and I really think it's a tragedy. But I got to tell you, we plunk you down, and all I hear is Mr. Imus's wife there go, if you have hate mail, send it to my husband. So yeah. I was just like, wow.
Deirdre's a trooper.
Well, I mean, this is, some knucklehead sending these kids on this basketball team hate mail are just absolutely repulsive and repugnant, and that's got to stop. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're doing good. I want to know how Imus is doing. Deirdre, how's Imus holding up?
He's all right. This isn't about him. I mean, again, we want to focus on healing these young girls and all women and anyone that has suffered from hearing these remarks. And Opie and Anthony, I thank you for being so supportive and helping us raise this money, because even yesterday when you helped us, we were way ahead than any other year raising money for these three charities.
It's a great cause. I mean, something Imus has championed for years, and I understand you guys want to focus on the team and making sure they don't get any of these letters and any animosity and the people taking things out on them. But the thing I just kind of want to know out of concern is Imus has been in this business for so many years, and to just have it yanked out from under him, I just want to know how he's doing as a human being, as a fellow radio guy that knows how awful it is to have your job taken away from you. Is he at least in good spirits? I understand he's remorseful, but how's he doing?
He seems fine.
Yeah.
He feels awful. He feels, after meeting with these girls and getting that opportunity to talk with them and have them tell us how they feel. I mean, he asked them, I want to know the pain I caused, and I need to know how to fix this and change this.
Yeah.
And how did the meeting go last night?
It was several hours, and it was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And I think that we need more dialogue and more conversation in this, not just conversation, but doing, where we truly all understand each other.
Hey guys, it's Joel, and I just spent some time with Don. He just wanted to thank you guys for everything you did yesterday and helping raise money. That's really what he wanted to do yesterday and today, and not have the spotlight be on this. And I got to tell you, you really stepped up, and I appreciate it very much. You guys have been there, and you don't want to know what it means to the families, to the charity. To raise an extra $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, and nobody asked you to do it is really very special. And Don really thanks you guys a lot. That's
well, there's absolutely no other thing we could do with all this going on. Especially now, I know we can talk about certain things that I know are a little sensitive on your guys' side. I just saw this as MSNBC. And now CBS kind of yanking the rug out from under Imus when he was on his last day of doing something really great. If he had to go out on this note, I think it would have been a lot better to have him serve out his last day raising money for sick kids. I'll never understand that, why he was pulled. Monday, it's the station's prerogative, the company's prerogative to fire him if that's what they want to do. But to take the last day of such an important thing and something he felt so strongly about and can him before that is just I can't understand it.
Well, you guys, I agree. It did seem certainly a little precipitous to put it at best, but I tell you, we all can't thank you enough, Opie and Anthony, for stepping up, and you guys, who knows, you may have put us this far ahead, but we are well ahead of where we were last year.
Well, I hope so.
So thank you so much.
Well, give the big plug for the Radiothon, because you got a lot of people listening right now.
This is O&A joining us by simulcast. They're a 92.3 Free FM here.
For now.
Also all around the country.
What's the smuggling, guys? The virus is spreading?
That's what they say.
It's barely spreading.
And so you can call and help us out right now with our 18th annual Radiothon at 1-877-877-6464 or online by clicking the WFAN Radiothon banner at WFAN.com and simply have your credit card ready. And guys, thank you again so much.
That's great. Charles, Deidre, Joel.
Guys, I appreciate it.
It's 19 minutes now after the hour.
Thanks.
CRA worked with my creditors and cut my debt in half.
Our credit card bill.
We're going to listen to their show too, Hope.
Huh?
Maybe if we air a little of them, we can do less.
Yeah, why not? We're just trying to get
through less
today.
work.
I understand the position the Imuses are in, but they're in
a very odd position.
We are concerned for Imus as a human being. We are concerned that the media has barely touched on the fact that he's done some amazing things with his radio career, including this radiothon he does every year for the last 18 years.
And we understand he's been a crotchety old bastard to some people.
Sure.
We're not disillusioned here.
Sure.
But we've all taken our pot shots at each other in good fun. And as a fellow radio personality, that's why I'm concerned about how he's doing, because me and Opie are so effing familiar with this situation, the way it played out. Me and Oprah are talking on the phone constantly during this, just going, oh, my God, did you see this? Did you see this one? Did you see Move 23B? That we, it was just like these things that were happening that were so familiar to us that the reason I want to know how Imus was doing is I know how this feels. And I can't imagine how it feels after so many years of being on the air. Hell, we're just pretty much recently back compared to his career. From our, debacle that we had when we got thrown off the air. And to feel that way is not fun, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of how you feel about him being responsible for this and the awful things he said, or if it's freedom of speech, regardless of any of that. It's a guy that we relate to as a radio personality that is going through something we went through twice and know how bad that feels.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering how he was doing, that's all.
And the bond started between us and Imus. When we first came to New York, we took on everybody. Howard, the mayor, Imus, other radio shows that have come and gone. And he was pretty much the only one that found humor in the fact that we were attacking him.
Yeah, we were
like, wow, this guy is a pretty special guy. Because, most egos in radio, they just they just stink. They just stink. They can't handle anyone like actually making fun of them. They're the ones that's supposed to make fun of everybody else, and how dare you actually make fun of them? But Imus was one of these guys. And obviously does a great Imus. We went after him just like we went after everybody else. And it got back to us like he's like, those boys are funny.
We'd goof on him and be like, you know, I don't know what to say, but goddamn, they're funny. That's funny stuff that they're doing over there.
Yeah. So we're like, wow, you know, you goof on a guy and he says that you're funny. It totally takes the punch out of it. And, you know, we've had our shots back and forth, but really in good fun.
And then I bonded with the guy because we never really met him. You don't really meet other radio guys because you're just too busy, you know, waking up early and
much too self-important.
Yeah, and trying to get as much sleep as possible before your next show. It doesn't leave much time to socialize with other guys. But when I was off the air, you know, I went to the book review in Huntington Village, and he was doing a signing, and I'm like, man, I always wanted to meet this guy. He's a legend in broadcasting.
Of course.
And he was putting out a book about his ranch. And I went to the book review, and the line was ridiculous. So I sat in, like, the cafe drinking coffee, waiting. And then I got on the end of the line. I didn't go to the front of the line or nothing like that. And I'm like, man, I don't even know what he's going to do when, you know, I tell him who I am. But I just felt like I had to meet him. And I get up there, and I give him my book, and I'm the last person. He's like, oh, what's your name? He was exhausted. And I told him, hey, it's Opie from the Opie and Anthony Show. His eyes lit up. He looks at me. He's like, sit down. And we ended up hanging out for like an hour after the signing, just talking about everything. And he was nothing but supportive as far as what happened to us. And I never forgot that. And I was like, man, I will defend this guy to the end.
He called us. A lot of people say, you know, he was responsible for getting us back on the air. What he did was called us and gave us advice as to what he thought we should do. Some of it we didn't take, you know. I don't think Imus was very supporting of us going to satellite.
No, and we were all about satellite. And he's like, you know, satellite's great, but you got to remember, this is when satellite was only talking about like 2 million subscribers on XM.
In its infancy.
Now they're pushing 8. Now it's becoming a thing, and then with the merger, it's really becoming a thing. But back then, he's like, look, guys, don't ignore regular radio. You're not done on regular radio. And Stupid Ant and I were like, we have to be done after what we did. We're done. He's like, you're not done. And then he kind of suggested that maybe we should take the job in Albuquerque, was it?
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
why don't you go to Albuquerque?
It proved that you don't have devil horns.
I'm like, no, we don't want to go to Albuquerque.
You know, it's nice there. Dry heat. It's wonderful.
No.
But when you were off the air, you had a lot of time in your hands to go to the book. Didn't you go to the Joe Franklin book signing, too?
All right.
Yeah, Opie was constantly down at that goddamn bookstore in Huntington. Who's going to be there? Martha Stewart?
Opie was like, actually, do you remember me? All right, sit down and get online.
Emerald, I love when you say BAM. Could you sign my book?
A little known fact, because we come across as just being a bunch of dopes on the radio. I ended up reading well over 100 books after we got fired. I was reading a book a day, a book a week.
That little bookstore in Huntington. Opie's just there all the time. Hey, you see who I met? It's wonderful.
Actually, I met Clinton at the same
You got pictures with Bill Clinton, too.
I guess I was a stalker.
Occasionally you get the big guys, and then occasionally you get, you know.
I was a stalker of writers.
Is that Adam Ferrara?
Oh, my God. Bob Vila, could you sign my wrench?
You know what? You're right. My story stinks, and I was at that bookstore every day.
Book signing.
No, but it shows you what happens, though, to radio personalities that get fired. You don't know what the hell to do to you. Look, Imus is going to be, could you sign my book? I'm going to book signings. This sucks.
So I'm at the stamp convention.
Yeah. You know what? You're 100% right.
Is that a 1967 5-cent stamp?
Hi, I'm Opie.
I was thinking about coin collecting or stamps. I'm Hey, Opie. It's Imus. How you doing?
Imus, it's 2 a.m. I got to get up at 4.
I'm bored. I'm just watching the Lost box set. This show's amazing. Never saw it when I was on the air because I was had to go to sleep early.
Imus, I'm tired. I got to go to sleep.
Thinking of putting a pool in. Thinking of, like, swimming. What do you think about that? Is that,
Look, I'm tired. I have to get up for work.
Yeah, rub it in. Rub it in.
Not rubbing anything in. We'll probably be in the same boat as you, and we could hang out at some point, but...
No, go ahead. You're busy. I'll find someone else, whatever. So, call me tomorrow, please.
Ed speaks the truth because I don't allow a lot of people into my personal life, but when I do, I can't get rid of these people. Like Dice used to do the same thing and then decide he hates me, and we still don't know why. Whatever, that's for another day. But he would call me every single night for hours on end, and I'm like, what the hell did I do to deserve this?
Opie, it's Imus. You want to go to the beach?
Yeah.
I was thinking, pack a cooler, go to the beach.
Imus, I got work.
Blow it off. Cut work. I want to go to the beach.
Jeez.
Me and you hit the links. I don't golf much, but I've been thinking of taking it up.
No. Don't you have Imus, don't you have something to do?
No. If you want to wear my hat, put on my cowboy hat. Look, I bought you one. I bought you one just like Iman's. Me and you could hang out. We'll look like father and son. Opie, you wake up.
Sorry, Imus. It's 2:30 in the morning. I was sleeping.
Yeah.
Man. Hey, what's with all these reality shows? You see Sanjaya still on? You believe it? Can't believe that.
Imus, please.
I gotta sleep.
I'm tired. Oh, God, I'm tired.
E-Rock is writing a line for you that is pretty funny. I just got Pal Talk line.
Yeah, hey, you guys check out this Pal Talk thing? I'm talking with a Happy Typing Girl. It's great. Look at, oh my God. There's this other chick showing her cans. Oh, but you just come in. Hold on. I gotta shut it off.
E-Rock suggested that Imus's name would be Happy Typing Imus.
Don't tell anybody, but I'm I-Man on Whackbag.
Hey,
Opie, how do I sound? I just got a new cell phone.
Yeah, you sound
good?
You sound wonderful, yeah.
What the hell time is it?
It's 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I want to get another hour and a half of sleep.
I'm used to getting up at this time.
Yeah, but, I know. Hopefully soon you'll be getting up early again.
Well, I hope so. But what are you doing today?
A radio show.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry
I remember
that, but...
Does Norton need someone to sell his shirts? I'm willing to go to the Virus tour, and I'll man the booth. I'm not doing nothing. Where you going, Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I join you?
Yeah, let's take your private plane.
Yeah, look at this.
What?
Girls Gone Wild commercials on. You ever see these things? I'm thinking of getting the Bowflex. What do you think? You want the... Hope you ever use the Bowflex?
No.
You sound tired.
I'm really tired.
What time is it?
It's now 3:30.
3:30? Wow, we've been talking like an hour.
I know, and
time flies when I talk with you.
And we hung up at midnight, so you get about 3 hours sleep here.
Hey, can I come into the show? I'll just stand there. I swear I won't talk.
And look at the equipment?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. All right. Look, it's 4 a.m. Hey, you want to rollerblade through the park? Me and you. I know you like rollerblading. I know all the things. I could skitch on a truck. I've done some skitching. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Poe won't let me up in the building.
No.
Can I?
You guys
Master Poe is making me fill out paperwork.
You guys stay downstairs.
Yeah, if you can't sleep, Ron Bennington is still awake. Ron and Fez show. Maybe I'll call him. All right. Have a good show.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Imus. Why did I ever meet you at that bookstore? The hell did I get myself into?
You know, I'll tell you what. I'm going to help raise money next week in Fort Lauderdale at the Improv. Next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to help raise money.
Oh, look at that. Nice.
Next week?
Nice plug.
Week, yeah.
Next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Rich Voss, who's in studio for Jim Norton, who's already in Vegas for our little thing we're doing tomorrow night. He'll be at the Fort Lauderdale Improv. All right, we'll take a break. Don't forget about that phone number to donate to the 18th annual Radiothon. Imus's wife is actually on the air doing it with Charles McCord. To donate, call 877-877-6464. Tell them Opie and Anthony sent you.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
You're checking out the Opie and Anthony Show. Our phone number, 1-866-313-FREE. Let's say hi to Ethan from Massachusetts. We haven't taken many phone calls yet this morning. Ethan, what's going on today?
Hey, guys, I just want to let you know that Anthony's point this morning was more precise and more sensible than anything Sharpton or Jackson could put together, man.
Oof, I must have been drunk. Thank you, sir.
And you know, I'm a veteran, and it makes my stomach turn the way they're stomping over all the rights I was supposedly defending, serving, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people don't realize when you start giving rights away, people don't stop. They don't stop at a certain thing like, we kind of want this. It's a little infringement on your rights. And then when people go, oh, yeah, no, that's good. And then they take it away, they'll be back for more. So
absolutely.
You really give up a lot when you give up just a few or a little bit of your rights.
You know, when in the military, a lot of your rights are taken away. Like, I can't speak my mind to my boss like someone could in the civilian world.
Yeah.
You can't just, yell at them and say, no, that's it, I quit, or give them the old F you and tell them how you feel. You can't do that. So once you lose that right, you really realize how much it means.
Well, there are certain, like, freedom of speech rights that are in place, and certain limitations on them. There's the old gag. We've all heard it, the stupid fire in a movie theater one. I wish they'd come up with something new. I'm sick of hearing that one. But, of course, that free speech isn't protected. But there is an absolute freedom to hurt someone's feelings with your words. No one's protected from that. The second you try to protect someone's feelings from being hurt, no one will be able to talk. Because on a daily basis, no matter what we're discussing here, I've been surprised sometimes, especially early in my radio career. Now you kind of get numb to it. But I've been surprised at some of the stuff people have found offensive or upsetting. You're just talking, and all of a sudden someone will call up, and you go, wait, you got upset at that?
I know, right?
It's like everything. So the second you try to not upset people, you're pretty much gagging yourself.
Right. I actually had a supervisor in the military, a sergeant with me, that would call us POSs and, the woman P word every single day on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And you just, and what we did to get back at him is when he'd have a party or something, we wouldn't show up because we didn't like the guy.
We're building a country of faggots. It really is just a country of weak, kind of wishy-washy, don't hurt my feelings, I'll try not to hurt yours. And it's just, we're going to turn into this weak country. People see this as being something that strengthens a country. No.
I don't think so. I think it divides the country more than it brings it together.
The division, when things like this come up and people talk about diversity and open discussions on these subjects, it's a very limited amount of people that sit there and actually have these conversations and open discussions on it. But the majority of the people on both sides of any issue are just hating each other for it. It separates, it divides, and it doesn't work like people think it does. And it's building a wimpy country that isn't going to be able to take criticism. You have to be allowed to let other people hurt your feelings and say things that you're not going to agree with, and let them do it. You have the right to rebut, but you don't have the right to hang threats over people's heads because they're saying
didn't
something
like what they
you don't
said.
like.
Well,
Right.
people throw out the racist word too easy nowadays. Like, I'm on stage the other night, and someone, you're a racist. Oh, really, ma'am? I grew up in an all-black neighborhood my whole life, friends, but that's the one person that has maybe one African-American friend or worked with one, but they're so quick at calling you a racist, or I had a lady call me anti-Semitic. Oh, really? I'm a Jew.
You're Jewish.
I'm a Jew.
You are a tattooed
But
Jew.
you're anti-Sem. You are, though. You got the tattoo.
You are a little self-hating there, Rich.
You don't really live the lifestyle, Rich.
I got tattoos. I can't get buried in a Jewish cemetery, and I got a Jewish star, so I can't be buried in a Catholic cemetery.
Yeah, that is the most ironic thing. It's you have a tattoo, which is against the Jewish religion, of the Star of David.
You're going to be buried in someone's backyard.
With any luck.
Right. All right.
In a 55-gallon drum on the side of a parkway.
Ethan, thanks for the phone call. Let's go to Charles in Jersey. Charles, what's up?
Oh, and hey, how you guys doing?
By the way, a lot of polls coming in. ESPN.com, 26,000 votes. 74% of the people do not agree with Imos's firing, but they're telling you on the news that,
Oh, there was massive public outrage. There wasn't public outrage. I passed by CBS yesterday. I'm here in this city, in New York City.
We broadcast a mere blocks away from where Sharpton had that, quote, rally.
A big rally, big demonstration. It was the big threat that this was going to continue happening. I passed by it. There were more news trucks and people from the media than there were people marching. Reverend Al was there. It wasn't a big turnout. Believe me, and for anyone to say different, that there was this huge outcry, is not being honest.
All right, let's say hi to Charles. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, listen. If Imus had made that statement in character, would he have been fired for that as a character?
Who knows? We don't know anymore. We used to know. I got to be honest, we used to know, but now we wake up having no idea what's safe anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of new. We got to feel this whole thing out now and see what, when the FCC came up with the new rules and new fines for sexual content and obscenity and indecency and all that, that we had to figure that out. And we worked it out. We worked it out. Now we're in this whole new area where hurting people's feelings can get you thrown off the air. So we're at a loss at this point. We're at a loss until we figure it out. Either we'll figure it out and be okay, or we won't and we'll get fired.
There you go. Let's say hi to Ray Ray. I just want to get through these calls fast. If you got
Ray
a point,
Ray.
Let's get right to it so we get a lot of voices heard today. Ray Ray, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? First of all, I just want to say that the reason that Al Sharpton's out there by himself, because they ain't going to show up to 11. The other people he's waiting for, they ain't going to show up to 11. But I'm calling because I hit you about a month ago when you was messing with that boy named Steve Harvey and Shirley.
Uh-huh.
And when you guys were talking about how bad they was and how he was the king of comedy. But I want you to put your boots, take your boots off. Because I told you to put your boots off. Take your boots off because y'all doing what you're doing. Y'all good. I appreciate this very much because I want to laugh. Don't tell me what I can laugh at and what I can't laugh at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
And here's another thing that people fail to understand. Them women lost their game. And the next morning in the newspaper it said, here we go, Rutgers lost. And them people didn't know who these women was. Now, 30 years from now, they'll be able to show these papers to their children when they're working out there in regular jobs and they're not pros. You know what I'm saying?
I feel bad for the Tennessee team.
And
They won, and no one knows who the hell they are. They're not on Oprah.
The Tennessee team.
They're not on Oprah.
They're hoping Jenny Jones gets back on the air so they can get her.
And I don't mean this to be an outrageous statement, but I just did those women a favor. Their lives
everyone knows them.
Everyone knows them, and their lives are going to be that much more enriched from this experience. You watch.
Sure, they're signing autographs. You know?
watch.
Sure they're in the public eye now.
They would have been in the spotlight for maybe another day tops, and they were on Oprah yesterday, and now they met with the Imus camp last night. But instead of just announcing how it went, they're waiting and getting their thoughts together and having an official statement. I mean, they're milking it too. Let's be honest here. They could have just walked out and said, hey, it went great. This is what he said, this is what we said. Boom. But no, they're like, we'll talk to the media tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just kind of stretching this on.
Why are you milking it?
I think the even trade would be give the 3 Duke lacrosse players Imus' spot.
Yeah. Well, I heard some of that, too, last night on some of these shows that are hosted by black people that really were calling for Imos's head, believe me. And I heard some of them last night calling for our heads from the Opie and Anthony show. They don't want this show on the air. And a couple of callers brought up the Duke lacrosse situation. And one host, and this is ridiculous, got angry and wanted me called on the carpet, Opie, for calling that woman, the prostitute that falsely accused these young men of rape, wanted me called down on the carpet for calling her a lying whore, which I did yesterday. Because...
And he wants you fired for that. He wants you fired for that, by the way.
Yeah. Said I was disrespecting that, and he said, I was disrespecting that young lady. Young lady. You know why I called her a lying whore? I'll be honest with you. Because she's a lying whore. She lied.
Thank you, Norm Macdonald. That was like such a Norm Macdonald line.
Her job is a whore.
Did you get his book signed too?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, where'd you see him?
All right. I took my beating like a man. How much longer?
Yeah, the woman that lied, and she's a whore. What am I supposed to call her?
And when is Jesse Jackson going to meet with the lacrosse players?
Never.
And have their little sit-down meeting and,
Never.
Is she going to be brought up on charges? Can she be...
I don't know. Whatever.
You know, and everybody's saying that Imus is such a big story, but you people don't know. The real big story is Anthony is 51 on the top ugly list of celebrities.
Oh, right.
Look, we've been trying to ignore that.
Hey, could you word it properly?
What?
What was it, actually?
There was a... I don't know.
I was very proud. Actually, it was a dumb list, though. Like, I'd feel better about it if it was more accurate, but Tom Cruise is on the list.
It's the 100 unsexiest men in America.
I'm unsexy.
Anthony made 51st place, but they said it was a tough choice between me and him.
Yeah.
And they called it greaseball that no one gives a crap about or something like that.
Yeah.
He was 2 below Secretarius.
Secretarius?
What the hell, Secretarius?
The horse that won all the races.
Yeah, Secretarius?
Yeah, the horse.
Is that a secretary that's running with horses?
Wasn't he in the Senate in Rome? Secretarius. Centurion. Secretarius is here to see you.
I bring you news from the north.
Who is Secretarius?
The horse that won all those triple crowns.
Secretariat.
Oh,
Secretariat.
Whatever. S or a T.
Oh,
they're close together.
God.
Trump was number one on the...
Secretarius.
Number one on the top 100
unsexiest men list.
Let's go to Ken in Montana. Ken, what's going on?
Hey, guys. First time caller here. Iman turned me on to you guys, and I just want to say, listen to you the last couple of days. You guys are all right. He's right about you guys. You guys are some stand-up guys, and I got some comments here about this Reverend Sharpton and all these guys, and you guys, I've been listening here, and you guys have been talking about it. Why are they getting away with all this stuff that they've done, but yet they're targeted Imus?
That's the mystery of the universe, my friend.
Yeah.
We're dumbfounded that this is so hypocritical. We just, and everyone is yelling and screaming about it today on the morning news programs. We're dumbfounded that it's a complete double standard.
The history that these two have is just astounding. That they are still, 20 years after Reverend Al really came into the public eye. He's still considered a black leader. I mean, there's no other people with a little more credibility that can come forward and represent the black community when things happen than Reverend Al. This guy is so shady as far as his past goes, as far as finances go. The Tawana Brawley thing alone is a scandal that should banish you from being able to represent a people and be family spokesman and do all the things that he says he's doing for his people. The Tawana Brawley case, look it up. Just please pop in Tawana Brawley on the internet and do a little research about what a scumbag this guy was to the people that were accused of a horrific crime that turned out to be absolutely false right from the start.
There were witnesses that, I don't want to go into a 20-year-old case, but witnesses that saw her crawling into a plastic bag. They were testifying, and Reverend Al and Mason and Maddox, the two disbarred attorneys over that whole thing, would not stop. They would keep accusing these people, a smear campaign over these people that were being accused of a horrific racist crime. And when it was all said and done and over, and the grand jury determined through a huge amount of evidence that this was a scam and fake, where was Al? Where was an apology to Stephen Pagonis? Where was the money that Stephen Pagonis got in a civil case that was filed years later? Nothing.
He never paid a dime.
Didn't pay a dime, never apologized. The guy is, for that alone, he's just a reprehensible person. He is a spotlight hound. Any instance where he can get in front of a camera, that's his job. And I was told today to lighten up. I got a call yesterday like I was 3 years old to lighten up on Al Sharpton. Be careful what you say. I'm not gonna bash the guy and be dishonest about it, but I'm gonna bring up the truth. If this guy is gonna come after our show and other shows and hunt down shows, which he has pretty much vowed to do,
he said it's not gonna stop with Imus.
I'm not going out
clean up the airways. We gave this guy so much credibility, which just beyond amazes me.
I'm not going out with an apology tour. I'll tell you that much. I'm going out with on-the-record history of whoever the hell wants to come and get me. If it's Reverend Al, you're going to hear a lot of stuff about the Brawley case, about grainy black and white surveillance tapes inside of hotel rooms, Crown Heights. There's plenty of instances where Reverend Al has done nothing but incite hate through race. And that's what I'll bring up. I'm not going to sit there and wait to get fired while I'm apologizing.
Yeah, and last night we got advice from a lot of people. And these days in our career, we try to listen to advice a little better than we used to in the past.
A couple hours into the first show after the advice, it's over.
Well, we did pretty good today.
We did.
And I was explaining my my whole case last night to someone. I'm like, Ann and I, when this whole thing went down, we're like, man, someone's got to lead the charge, and we'll lead the charge. And obviously everyone will follow us. They got to see it our way. The freedom of speech thing, it's not a black and white thing and all that. And we ran out that door with their charge and like, come on, let's go. Charge! And I told this person last night, and then a couple days go by, and we look behind us and we realize, oh, my God, we're the only ones.
Hey,
we're the only ones.
No one's coming out of their bunkers with us.
Oh, my God.
No one's charging out of their foxhole.
It's like you're in a foxhole and you're like, ready, guys? We're going to take that hill. Charge! And you're running up, and then you'll kind of look behind just to see how it's going, and you realize, oh, my God, we're the only ones running up the hill. I know there's been others, but in general, that's what happened. We're like, wow, we really thought that people would jump aboard and go with this with us, and I guess they're just flat out too scared out there. But you know what? So be it, man. This is the right thing to do. You gotta have loyalty to the people around you, and and fair is fair. You gotta speak your mind on this thing.
And everybody is going to say something that offends or hurts another person's feelings. And after we're gone, there'll be someone else, and people will keep getting fired, and eventually it'll come down to you, whoever the collective you radio people are, and that's when you'll be going, oh my God, wait a minute, I'm the one with the target. I mean, I felt the firm smack on my back last night when I heard that Don Imus was fired. I felt the smack of a target go wham right between my shoulder blades.
We're beyond.
We're
beyond not safe.
No, beyond. Believe me, I know it,
and we understand our what's going to happen to us. We know it's going to happen. We're just waiting for it to happen.
Waiting,
and we'll ride it, and we're going to ride it hard. We're going to have a good time from this day on.
Hell yeah.
I'll tell you right now. And like I said, our ultimate goal is to make sure we don't screw up so bad that we don't completely ruin our radio careers. We do have the satellite thing still, so.
But it's at a point now where we're in a really weird time and situation right now.
And companies just don't back their personalities in the end.
No, they used to years ago when it was like mom and pop stations, things like that. When the companies first started out, they really backed their personalities.
And it's just an observation. You know, times have changed. They would probably, plead their case why they can't anymore. But, there was a time where they would back their personalities, and that's obviously not happening as we move forward. I got a quick mention on GMA.
Free speech issues abound in all of this, but a final quick question to you. Is Don Imus going to come back?
Oh, he'll be back. Just as Anthony and Opie came back and Bob Grant, another shock jock, came back. He'll be back. But
I like the way he put that. Anthony and Opie.
I don't mind.
We could actually maybe just change the name if we get in trouble and no one will notice. Hey, I like that Anthony and Opie show. They're a lot better than that Opie and Anthony show.
I like that, too.
Give them another shot.
That would be hilarious.
Let's give these guys a shot.
You're listening not to Opie and Anthony, it's Anthony and Opie.
Don't you worry.
All right, it's Anthony and Opie, and we'll return. Hear what everyone else is talking about. O&A Uncut and Live, continuing the show on XM Satellite Radio, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. Visit xmradio.com to subscribe.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
You're welcome.
I haven't slept. I got a sore throat. We got to fly today. I was going to say that you're listening to Bonnie and Clyde. I was going to go for a nice line, and I fumbled through it. We're going out in a blaze of glory.
Our pictures up on the post office walls.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, if today's our last day, I have no idea.
You never know these days.
And I don't mean to be dramatic, but I really don't know when the last day will be. It could be today. It really can. Zero tolerance, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, when you get things like zero tolerance and then people dredging up bits from 6 years ago and playing them as if they were, played yesterday or made yesterday, you're in a weird world. Weird, dangerous little world we're in.
All I was going to say is if this is our last day, we will continue on XM Satellite Radio. That's where you'll be able to find us.
Yeah.
I hate to do that to CBS, but, who knows? Not one person has called us and said, don't worry.
Yeah, that's true.
Or this is some of the things you should look out for. Nothing. Not one phone call of support.
Well, I mean,
Tom's been great.
Yeah.
Tom Chiusano's been great to us. John Manelli's been great to us.
Yep.
But they don't really matter in the end. They don't. And they know that. There's people way, way upstairs, many floors above us.
Literally.
That make some pretty intense decisions. And we haven't heard a peep from those guys. So I don't know.
Although I did get a call from Doom and Gloom Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony? Yeah, Bob. Oh, God.
Did you hear?
Be careful. Oh, God, be careful, please. Oh, God. This whole...
Please be careful. I just decided to put an extension on my house.
Be careful. I got kids that are going to go to college someday, and
oh, God.
Oh, guys, just watch what you say, please. Oh, God, please be careful.
He knows. That's Laker.
Yeah, Bob, I'll be careful. I got another call coming in. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? It's Imus. I got nothing to do. Yeah, you want to hang out?
It's great. They're going to dig up Lenny Bruce just to arrest him again.
Yeah,
it's
probably.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, hey, we got this little clip from Dan Patrick's radio show. They're coming in like crazy. We're slowly but surely being brought into the story. Has anyone else noticed
this?
It's
kind of creeping
All of a sudden, there's a montage of other dopes that have done dumb things on the radio, and boy, they got to show us, huh? Newsday, we're on page 4 today. I don't know.
Opie?
Yeah.
I'm online. I'm playing World of Warcraft.
I don't like that game, Imus.
You want to... Oh, I thought maybe... You want to team up?
Nah.
I'm going on a raid. I'm a wizard.
No.
Yeah.
Everyone knows I play Luminous 2.
Wizard, baby.
Luminous 2. Luminous 2.
Luminous.
By the way, I'm up to 600,000.
You suck horse, Opie. I just pwned that guy.
Hey, yeah, we're more like Butch and Sundance. Hey, we're more like Butch and Sundance. The Bonnie and Clyde, one of us has to be the chick.
Eesh.
Yeah, no, it's Butch and Sundance.
Butch and Sundance running out of that barn.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I went to I'm going to go local. I went to a club back in the day in Buffalo, and they showed the last scene of Butch and Sundance and the... What's the name of the movie?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I'm losing my mind today.
Yeah.
And in this club, they showed the final scene, which, takes 5 minutes maybe?
Yeah.
all night long in super slow motion.
Oh wow! So it's like
and
one frame at a time.
And if you were on the right drugs, man, wow, what a trip that was!
It's an interesting idea.
But it was like super slow motion. You'd have a drink, go to the bar, and then when they finally like went for it, that took forever. Forever. All right, so Dan Patrick has a radio show, and
did they make it?
Huh?
In slow motion, did they make it?
I had to go home. It was 4 o'clock, and they still didn't get shot.
I wonder if it changes, right?
That was the beauty of the whole thing. I don't think they ever got to the money shot.
Snuck out, and the Mexicans couldn't hit him.
No exaggeration. It was like, I think they advanced it a frame every minute or whatever. I don't know, 5 minutes. It was ridiculous how slow it was. Anyway, Keith Olbermann, who's the biggest douche out there. We could still say that, right?
Biggest?
He's up there.
He's up there.
As far as Whitey goes?
Yeah.
As far as Whitey goes, Whitey broadcasters, he's a douche.
Whitey douche?
He's a goody two-shoes. He had to brag on the air and then tell everyone after the fact that he ran to his boss and said that Imus needs to be fired. And he does a TV show every night on MSNBC. He could have spoke, he could have spoke his mind, but he chose not to because they told him not to.
He's one of those people that's were the internal people at NBC,
yeah, but
which is one of the reasons I
have no respect for anyone that all of a sudden speaks their mind after they feel it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
It's safe and it's okay now to do it.
Yeah,
you're just a wimp.
That's what he did. The Imus situation do for talk and sports radio what Janet Jackson did for TV?
Very much. I think very much so. I think it makes people aware that, and I'm not sure that some of the leading malefactors in this area understand that they are going to be under a microscope now. But, from Opie and Anthony to Rush Limbaugh, you're just not going to be able to do these things anymore.
Why?
And if you do, there is now an effective means of protest and if you will, an emboldened or encouraged, depending on your point of view, protest group ready to strike. And I don't know that that's a bad thing. I mean, I just, you could, I think my career would be testimony to the fact that you can make fun of people without resorting to racial slurs and sexual slurs and the rest of it.
You can make fun of people?
If you want to bust somebody's chops, there are lots of ways to do it that can be mean and edgy and still funny and yet stay within a certain boundary. And I think this is finally, we've all been lax about this.
Oh, great. That's your definition
Don't
of
you
comedy.
understand that boundary is moving as we speak, you idiot? Doesn't he understand that? And doesn't he understand the person that asked that question with the Janet Jackson incident?
That's Dan Patrick. He's better doing sports scores. What does he know?
The Janet Jackson incident, what it did for television, he's saying this will do for radio. The Janet Jackson incident was considered an FCC violation. Let's keep that in perspective.
These guys don't even know the basic facts of this stuff.
Nudity on television, a bare breast, albeit she had something there, but it was considered a bare breast on television during a time where you're not supposed to show bare breasts on television. FCC violation. Regardless of if you agree with it or not, the FCC stepped in. That was the problem with that. This is not an FCC issue. This is hurting people's feelings issue. Bad? Maybe. People don't like it. Yeah. Offensive? Certainly. But well within your rights. And this effective means, he's saying, of quashing this by protesting is mob tactics. It's threats that are meant to keep you from exercising your right to free speech.
And with that, we got Sean Hannity on the line. Sean.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show. I want to start by saying you and Alan Combs, we make fun of Alan a little bit here on our show, but you guys did a great job last night.
Bravo.
I was flipping around the channels, and I'm like, will someone speak up and at least bring the freedom of speech thing into this thing?
Let me tell you, these are dangerous times.
Yep.
For every single solitary person that gets in front of a radio microphone on a daily basis.
Regardless of their stance politically, racially.
It means nothing.
Right.
Absolutely. Listen, if they can get Imus, and I don't even like, I know you guys are friends with him. I don't particularly like the guy.
Okay.
All right? That has nothing to do with it.
You know, Sean, he's not a very likable guy to a lot of people.
He really
That's why I think we got along so well.
Yeah, exactly. Sean, we're not very likable to a lot of people, so...
You know what? I don't really find that true, because I've met you guys. Hey, we've been trying to get you on TV all week. I don't know.
Yeah, no crap. Our agent's been calling us. We've been hiding under the bed, Sean.
Instead of us, you had to have Elizabeth Hasselbeck and Geraldo. Woo!
Well, we also had our buddy Patrice.
Yeah, Patrice.
Patrice did a very, very good job.
I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah.
And I think, look, I tell you, these are going to be chilling times. I mean, when you add to this, for example, the fairness doctrine that's being debated in Congress, and everything else is associated here. But I'm going to tell you what, on so many different levels, this is insanity. The fact that the two people that have led this charge have the histories that they have.
Oh, absolutely.
And the incendiary things that they have said on a regular basis. I don't need to repeat it. I'm sure you guys have gone through it. Diamond merchants.
Ad nauseum, yeah.
White interlopers. You know, hey, I'm sick of hearing about the Holocaust. Can you imagine somebody saying that to me?
Oh, my God. Forget about it. Well, that's ancient history. That's the old days.
Yeah, well, these are the old days. I've got a tape of probably one of the most prominent. We all have different formats in radio. It's known as the urban format. Of one of the most prominent DJs. Do you remember when that little girl, I think her name is Bethany Hamilton, remember she lost her arm?
Yes.
When the shark bit it off?
Yep, the surfer.
The surfer.
Yep. Right. You know what they did that day? On that show?
What?
They played, you know the Mac the Knife, do you know that song?
Right, the shark bites, yeah. Jesus.
They use the words bite white, biting whitey.
And you have tape of this?
Oh, yeah.
Now, how come that doesn't... You have tape of this, you could play it, and how come that doesn't make people outraged?
It's a double standard.
Well, well, there was a minor, small controversy. Now, here's another interesting twist to that. Guess who's a regular guest on the program? That program on a regular basis?
Reverend Al Sharpton.
Reverend Al Sharpton. So now here's an interesting question. If Reverend Al Sharpton were to hear the tape, I mean, and there's laughing and mocking and kidding around in the background. Now, I want to also say, I don't want that host fired. I don't want his advertisers taken away.
Yep.
I don't want him taken off the air. Maybe he could apologize. That would be a nice thing.
Yeah.
And after that, I think, we should be, generally speaking, sensitive to people's feelings, especially the innocent. Those Rutgers basketball players, they're not in the public eye. They're good kids. They have achieved so much in their life. They don't deserve to be attacked. This young girl that lost her arm, she's not in the public eye. She doesn't deserve to be attacked. Now, you and I, we all deserve to get the living daylights beaten out of us.
Right.
Yeah. We're out there giving opinions every day.
As does Reverend Al and Jesse Jackson.
Absolutely.
And I was listening to a program last night where a gentleman was calling for me and Opie to be removed from the air. He played a clip of a parody that we had done years ago about Reverend Al when Reverend Al went to Africa to purchase slaves and free them. So we did kind of a bit on the fact of how ironic it is that Reverend Al, for a short time between the purchase and freeing, would be a slave owner. And parodied that situation. It was taken during his playing of the clip completely out of context. And if you can't parody a public figure like Reverend Al in that way, we're doomed.
Listen, I've listened to your show a lot over the years. I often hear your repeat on satellite. And you know what? You guys go right up to that line and right over it all the time. Honestly.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be a sad day for radio if they can take you guys off the air.
Yeah.
It's going to be a sad day if they try and get Stern off the air. It's going to be a sad day if liberals in Congress use the fairness doctrine and they go after Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, the great one, Mark Levin.
Mm-hmm. Well, by the way, I didn't hear our name as much last night and the last few days, but I heard all the political talk show hosts. They went Neil Bort, Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh. They went right down the line there.
Yeah, because, listen, I know at the highest levels of the Democratic Party that they are seriously, talking about bringing back the fairness doctrine, which would mandate that if we give out an opinion, then we have to give equal time.
Equal time, yeah.
That disagrees with us. One of the great hypocrisy here, this really drives me nuts. First of all, it drives me nuts, who all of a sudden died and named Reverend Sharpton and Reverend Jackson the speech police in the country.
Yeah.
That drives me nuts.
We're just amazed that this is coming from those two guys. Well, I would almost have a little more respect for this whole thing if it was anyone else.
Yeah.
Anyone else.
But they're trying, what I'm watching is the things they're saying on the air. First of all, they seem to be saying, well, this is an agenda about cleaning up the airwaves and cleaning up our culture.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they've been serious about stopping demeaning language about African Americans, about women, not to mention other people, would they have not been picketing radio stations that for the last decade have played, what Imus has said times a million on a daily basis?
Yeah, well, see now, Sean, you're deflecting the real issue here. That's what I'll say, because I heard that about 20 times last night. You're deflecting from the issue.
Deflecting. If that language is wrong, if we're having a coarsening of the culture, if their real motive is not Don Imus, but what he said and about innocent women that are being attacked, then shouldn't the same standard be applied to everybody?
Well, now that Imus is gone, why isn't Reverend Al up bright and early in front of some of the hip-hop stations, at some of the hip-hop labels, demanding that they drop these artists from their record label because they are demeaning and offensive to women and to their culture? Where is he?
It's a great point here because, where does Sharpton, in this particular case, where does he think some of these songs are being played? They're being played on the radio.
Yeah.
They're being played on the public airwaves. I don't think that there's ever been an example where he's tried to go after specific hosts or corporations that are making money. Listen, I know you guys aren't political, but I can even take it into the political arena for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Just 2 weeks ago, remember the big announcement that Hillary had raised $26 million in the first quarter for her presidential campaign? The last campaign stop that she made was at the Miami home of a record producer, rap record producer and singer Timbaland. I don't even know the guy. Do you know?
Yeah, he's a big-time hip-hop producer.
Okay, well, I think it was his latest album. I don't remember the name of the song. I have it written down somewhere. Guess how many times they use the N-word in one song?
Really?
I'll go with 25.
24, very good.
Wow.
Thank you, Sean. I actually
24 times, and that record executive raised $800,000 for Hillary Clinton.
Jeez.
Will Hillary give the money back?
Yeah.
If she's so upset about the coarsening of the culture, is she going to condemn these guys?
The hypocrisy is so rampant, it's almost hard to point out because it's so huge, you can't really get a beat on it and point it out to somebody because it's just running rampant.
Now, Sean, you think the media in general is going to now try to push back a little bit? I mean, Reverend Al had the spotlight all this week, but are we going to start pushing back?
Has a victory. He's smelling blood in the water. Now what?
Are people going to start coming out of the woodwork to defend some of this stuff, or are we going to just run away and then be cowards?
I think it's the latter. I think because what'll happen is it'll be one radio show, one radio host at a time, and then ultimately, everybody else on the air is going to say, "Oh, all right, well, at least it's not me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not under fire." But
yeah, we do know how self-centered we all are in radio.
That's true, isn't it? Here's Sharpton's quote: "It's our feeling that this is only the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We must have a broad discussion on what is permitted and not permitted in terms of the airwaves."
Now, Sean, we in radio really understand, and a lot of people are surprised by this, FCC rules. We're schooled on it by our lawyers constantly. We're getting memos and all kinds of things keeping us up to date.
We're probably the most well-versed in the country.
Yeah, we really, because they make sure of it here at CBS now that they've sat us down in front of a lot of paperwork.
We have to take tests on the internet.
Tests.
Like once every 3 months.
It's amazing.
It's a multiple choice quiz.
Yeah. The funny thing is,
I'm back in school.
This may sound a little nuts, but I actually think, because everybody in radio knows how dumb, petty, immature, competitive we all could be at times. It may be time for on-air personality to put aside whatever petty differences they have. People in all backgrounds, formats, morning zoos, some of the urban stations, talk radio. you guys what you guys do, and maybe everybody unite and say, not going to happen. We're going to stand together and stand up for everybody.
I was kind of saying that to Anthony behind the scenes today.
Yeah.
I think it might be time.
Might be time for some peace talks.
Yeah.
What I was saying about the FCC issue, though, is we're very well versed in FCC regulations. Where is it that in the FCC rules it says you can't hurt someone's feelings or talk about race or make someone feel bad or even offend somebody as long as it isn't offensive in sexual content, obscenity, indecency. I don't believe there's ever been an FCC violation that has had to been paid for what's considered a racist comment.
I can't think of one either.
Yeah.
So I think you're dead on the money, and now the FCC is investigating that. That is a good point.
Now, how is Reverend Al and Jesse Jackson, because they don't agree with something, because something offends them and their constituency for whatever that's worth, because I don't see them as leaders. How do they get off deciding what hurts people's feelings, what's offensive, and what should or shouldn't be on the airwaves based on their own race and their own sensitivity as to what upsets them?
That's look, who's the moral arbiter? Who gets to decide?
Right.
We're going to have the office of the United States Special radio speech police?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do that.
And it won't stop. We've said it time and time again. Once someone gets a victory, you never stop. You move to the next thing and the next thing.
I'm going to tell you something. I thought about you guys yesterday. Now, we've become friendly over the years.
Sure.
And I thought about the company that fired him.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, I thought about you two.
So did we.
I really have got to wonder, how much support they would give you, even under the smallest controversy.
Yeah, our clock is ticking. We're not stupid.
Yeah,
we've been at this a while now.
We're working under a cloud over here, and we know it. I mean,
the good news is you guys are so good at getting fired. You know how to handle it.
Thanks.
I'm only teasing.
Hey, man, it was too real last night watching all that coverage with Imus.
Listen, I don't want that to happen. And
no, I don't either.
Hey, Sean, you're a stand-up guy, man. We really like you a lot. And I got to tell you, this will make you happy. I'm moving a little closer to your side.
Anthony,
just a little bit.
You hear this, Anthony?
Yep.
Now that he got the big payday.
Yeah, see?
It's being taken from him.
And it's very close to tax time.
Yeah, it's close to tax time.
I'm moving a little closer. There's still some distance between us, but...
You know what we call this on my show? We were trying to sanitize you.
Yeah. Hey, and Sean is truly a good guy, because Elizabeth Hasselbeck was way out of her league last night on TV, and I know you're friends with her and all that. I'll acknowledge that.
Nice girl. She really is.
I know. I'll acknowledge that. But, man, you smelled blood and you backed off, but you made some great points, because she was so excited that Imus got fired, and then she's also saying she believes in freedom of speech, and that's when Alan Combs kind of went at her and really gave her a talking to, and I thought he was great. And then you're bringing up the whole Rosie thing. Like, if you think Imus should have been fired for what he said, what about Rosie and that, I don't even know if we're allowed to say it anymore, the Asian thing she said.
Yeah, derogatory Asian.
An Asian slur and on the air. And by the way, she apologized. And at the time I said, of course she shouldn't be fired. The thing about Imus, and I watched his apology, I watched it in its entirety, the longer one and the shorter one. I listened to about an hour of him being on the Reverend Sharpton show, and I felt the guy was genuinely sorry, generally embarrassed. He made every promise that he wanted to make good, make it up, and I'm thinking, how is it the guy that was at the Crown Heights riot, when he said all the things he said at Crown Heights, how is it the guy that said white interloper? How is it the guy that said diamond merchants? How is it that the guy that said Hymietown? How is it possible that Al Sharpton and Reverend Jackson, two reverends that are supposed to believe in Jesus and forgiveness and redemption and repentance, how come they couldn't give this, they wouldn't let him off the mat?
Nope.
They wouldn't give him a chance to make good on it. And I think they missed an opportunity to show America, hey, we've been forgiven, our careers have gone on, we're going to offer that same type of forgiveness to other people. Like, do you remember when Bill Donahue of the Catholic League?
Yeah.
I remember reading a press release he sent out, nope, we're finished, Opie and Anthony can go back up on the air.
Yeah.
And you guys had a pretty intense fight after the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were amazed by
We've since had him on the air maybe 3-4 times, and he's been a great guest on our show.
That was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, if you're a Christian, I'm a Christian, a Catholic, at some point, all of us have been forgiven. We're all going to screw up in life. When somebody is really out there trying hard to say, I'm sorry and I want to make it right, you know, where's that sense of, you know what, we've all screwed up. All right, you're going to make it right. We're going to be watching.
Well, Sean, what do you think that is? Is that a weakness on Al Sharpton's part?
I don't know. I mean, I think...
Like, I need to drag you down? I need to pull you down?
Here's what...
Where does that come from?
Here's what I see. And I think I brought this up yesterday. We got a caller. It was a black gentleman called up and said, I don't get this. He goes, I don't care about what Imus said. He goes, I go to work, I support my family, I pay my bills. And I said to this guy, I go, you are Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson's worst nightmare. I go, because you're not a victim. You're not playing the part of a victim. You're a working guy. You're taking care of your family. I go, that would put them out of work. That would make their donations for how they make their living, God only knows how, that would all dry up because they need the black people to be victims and downtrodden and poor constantly to keep them in the public eye.
Wait, what would that? If that's true, Anthony, how sad that would be. That fundamentally, that's the surprise to me is that I think they have been forgiven a lot. They have been allowed to go on with their careers. I'll even take it a step further. Even though I've disagreed with Reverend Sharpton and Reverend Jackson politically, I think in both cases there have been times they have done a lot of good things for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But that's because they were allowed to stay in the public arena and express their views in spite of the fact that they made a lot of big mistakes. Tawana Brawley was a big mistake.
Huge.
Crown Heights Riot was a big mistake. Freddie's Fashion Mart was a big mistake.
All right, Sean, they're going to cut us off. We're really...
Before you go, I got one question.
Yeah, go.
So you guys coming on TV tonight?
Honestly, we're flying to Vegas for a comedy show.
To Vegas.
We're literally leaving right after our show today.
Well, you guys were in the bunker all week.
Yeah.
Hunkered down, Sean noticed.
We've learned. We used to be like, oh, TV cameras, okay, we'll talk. And then people are like, what are you doing?
Well, if you can come on next week, I'm sure it's still going to be an issue. Let me know.
All right, let's figure that out. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, man.
All right, ABC in New York, right, Sean? He's gone.
Yep.
You know where to find Sean Hannity. He's all over the place.
He's a great guy.
We got a break. We're really late. It's Opie and Anthony. Really fast, the WFAN 18th Annual Radiothon benefiting the Tomorrow's Children's Fund, the CJ Foundation for SIDS, and the Imus Ranch continues this morning. This was Imus's cause. He did it for 18 years. His wife's doing it today because they kicked him off the radio, obviously. Donate 877-877-6464. You're helping sick kids. Tell them Opie and Anthony sent you, please. Yeah. Let your voice be heard.
Show them what you can do, listeners.
Even if it's just $1. 877-877-6464. It's Opie and Anthony.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
Yeah, you're checking out the Opie and Anthony Show. We were just laughing because Sean Hannity goes, man, you guys have been in your bunker all this week. I got to tell you. Everybody has been trying to get us on TV this week. And like I said, the old days we'd see a camera and we were like mesmerized. Like, oh, wow, a chance to be on TV.
Yeah, hey, it's a camera. Let's talk.
And we only realized, like, only in the last few years that sometimes that's not the smartest thing to do.
Opie.
Yeah, what's up, Don?
Yeah, it's Imus.
Yeah, I know.
How you doing?
I'm good. Stop calling me.
What time is it?
It's, I don't know, 8:45.
I just typed Fat Kid into your into YouTube. It's great. Check out Fat Kid.
I will.
Hey, you want to go to Six Flags?
No, we're flying to Vegas.
That roller coaster deal.
No, we're flying to Vegas.
Fun.
No.
You want to touch butts?
No, that's Jimmy's bit.
Yeah.
I want to touch butts.
Okay, I'll call you in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know you will.
All right.
Thank you.
I got nothing to do.
All right, listen, we're moving fast to the end of the show here. Chris in Rockville Center. What's up, Chris? Chris?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I wanted you to know that I made a donation yesterday to Imus because I felt obligated. I would never ordinarily listen to his radio show, but there's so much going on about it. I felt like I really needed to support this. You know, it seems like that money is the only thing that matters when it comes to advertisers.
Yeah, man.
Well, they thank you for the donation. We just got a note here. The Radiothon has raised over $2.5 million.
Bravo.
That's what I want people to remember today. Imus raised $2.5 million, and they have at least another hour in the Radiothon. The phone number is 877-877-6464. It's for sick kids. He's been doing this for 18 years. The company really should have let him just finish out, in style.
On a high note,
On a high note, and let him do his Radiothon.
It's the last hour if you haven't, well, at least while we're on the air. Just give it the big push and, donate if you haven't.
They've raised $600,000 this morning, and a lot of our listeners have been donating, and we thank you for that. 877-877-6464. Tell them Opie and Anthony sent you. Chris, you like car stereos?
Excuse me, do I like stereos?
Yeah, you want a car stereo?
Actually, I don't have a car right now.
Goodbye.
Doesn't have a car.
Give a random caller a Sony Explode CD car stereo with Bluetooth integrated hands-free microphone and wireless audio streaming capability, courtesy of the new Action Drama Drive, which premieres Sunday, April 15th at 8 p.m. on Fox. The new Action Drama, the name of the show is Drive? Okay. Drive this Sunday at 8 p.m. on Fox. Just give it to a random caller, all right?
Hi, this is Rich Voss calling in.
Hey, yesterday we read Jason Whitlock. Oh, jeez.
Am I the right caller?
No.
I want to win the radio deal?
No, hang up on him.
No, I don't know. I'll call you in like 5 minutes.
All right. We want to give it to a listener, Mr. Imus. Yesterday we ended the show by reading Jason Whitlock's column. He's becoming a star, man. I think everyone noticed his article. I would like to take credit that our show found it, but obviously people were searching out something that made sense to them, and they found it in this guy, Jason Whitlock. He's a black columnist from Kansas City.
You know, I can win. I'm no longer an employee.
I understand.
Or family of...
Could you hang up on Mr. Imus?
Okay.
All right.
I'm coming over.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye. And Whitlock's been all over the news the last few days. He's made some terrific points to this whole thing. Today, I want to read from the New York Post. This is how we're going to end today's show before we head out to Vegas. Actually, we're going to do a couple more hours on XM. I want to say it again. We never know when the last day is going to be. Could be today. I think it's not today.
No.
Jesus. Just knock anything wood around, you stupid.
I did predict everything. I predicted the Imus thing perfectly.
Yeah,
we even said your mom's box for Imus when the controversy started. But you'll be able to find us on XM. Our show continues on XM in about 10 minutes. That's where you'll find us when they finally say, goodbye.
Seen that Lonely Girl 15? Damn that.
Goodbye. Go play with your kid, will you?
Fun in Vegas.
So today I want to read a column that's in the New York Post, and I gotta tell you, I was searching, not finding much positive stuff on Mr. Imus.
No.
Imus in the morning, and they spell morning MOURNING. This is Della Femina, Jerry Della Femina in the Post. Done in by hypocrite Al. This is how we end the show today. So CBS is dropping Don Imus. Al Sharpton wins. It's hard to say what's most wrong here. For starters, Don Imus is a good man. If you're a soldier wounded in Iraq and stuck in a rotting ward at Walter Reed Hospital, he is the best guy to have on your side. That goes for a kid of any race or religion with cancer, or a parent who has lost an infant to sudden infant death syndrome. He's built hospitals and a ranch in New Mexico for kids who face an early death. If you have a good cause, he is by your side, and he puts his money where his mouth is. If you're a phony, this is your time to come out from under your rock and attack. God, is that the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Including the people that, now we're editorializing, including the people that did his show many, many times. All of a sudden they're on TV making believe they never did his show.
Yep.
Continuing. Imus is wild. He's funny. He's nuts. He's tough and compassionate and patient and loyal. He's a lot of things, but he is not a racist. Racists are not the people who say wild, silly, stupid things like Imus did the other day when he called the members of the Rutgers women's basketball team a bunch of nappy-headed hoes. It was an incredibly dumb thing to say, tasteless and cruel. But a real racist would never blurt out something outrageous like that, because a real racist is always on guard. A lot of forces are telling us that with this one stupid statement, Imus has ruined the lives of these young women. I have to wonder if any of them have ever heard Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle.
Yep.
or to the degrading words gangster rappers use about black women, disgusting anti-woman lyrics far more shocking than Imus's incredibly dumb words. Don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming these kids for what Imus said. I'm blaming the media that is making this a double-standard world. Speaking of double standards, I give you Al Sharpton, who threatened to march on WFAN if Imus was not fired. Al Sharpton, who gave all those shrieking speeches when the Tawana Brawley case attracted national attention back in 1987. Have we forgotten that Sharpton and two cohorts used an unbalanced young girl to boost their profiles at the expense of a man whose life they virtually ruined for no reason? The man, Stephen Pagonis, won a civil judgment, but Sharpton, who claims Imus's apology isn't enough, would neither apologize nor pay out the judgment against him that Pagonis won. 20 years later, Sharpton yelled for and got Imus's scalp. Too bad CVS caved, because the minute the media turned off the cameras, Sharpton would have stopped watching. Marching, excuse me. Sharpton would have stopped marching. Right.
Been gone.
I tuned into Imus Wednesday, as I have for the past 30 years, and this is where it gets kind of sad. He was sadly subdued. Listening to Don trying to be politically correct reminded me of the story of the centipede that was asked, how can you walk with all those legs? The centipede thought about this for a second and then collapsed, unable to walk again. Don, when he can't be totally spontaneous and wild with material that will offend every group equally, loses that magic that has made him the greatest radio personality in history. I have a number of clients who advertise on WFAN just to be on Imus's show. Naturally, as a good advertising man, I'll recommend that they go elsewhere until Imus comes back. And mark my words, he'll be back, and he'll be back with vengeance. Be afraid, CBS. Be very afraid.
I'll be back. Opie?
Yeah.
How do I get a WOW sticker? I'm going to be driving around on Wednesdays. And, is that your music?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank God the music's here.
I'll call you again later.
All right, listen.
Broncos.
Listen, we're off to Vegas. We're going to do a couple hours on XM Satellite Radio, then we're running to the airport. The O&A Traveling Virus Comedy Show starts tomorrow night at the Joint at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Can't wait to see all the pests out there. Doing the press conference by the pool in the early afternoon, announcing all the other tour dates. It's going to be a great show tomorrow night. We got 8 or 9 comedians that you know and love from this show. And tickets are available through Ticketmaster.com or I guess at the Joint at this point if you're in Vegas already, okay? And once again, keep that phone number ringing for the 18th annual Radiothon benefiting the Tomorrow's Children's Fund, the CJ Foundation for SIDS, and the Imus Ranch continues this morning. You got Imus's wife. I think she's going to be on the air for another hour. Donate by calling 877-877-6464. And Rich Voss, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me again.
To Don Imus, I love you.
Yeah.
And I love what you have done for everybody in this business. And we greatly appreciate that. And you will definitely be missed. We'll see you guys over at XM.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
I agree. It's time to retire that. It was fun at first, but oh my God.
Yeah, everybody that was like, oh, that's great. Oh, God, look, we love this.
By the way, that was Fat. I saw Fat.
You saw Fat. That's so funny. I just deflected your.
Wow, I was trying to say that was Chris M.
Yeah,
that did that version of Ecstasy of Gold. And then, yeah, you were pointing out the fat people on TV.
I was pointing out the fat story that they're doing on the news, and they have to show fat people from the neck down.
Yeah.
And from, like, the knees up, so they show fat butts, stuff like that. They were doing something this morning on sexually transmitted diseases, and they can't show the people's faces, really, but they're showing people holding hands and hugging in the park. So they send a camera crew out and just go, hey, find people who are touching each other, like couples. And meanwhile, if you're sitting there watching that and you recognize your clothing, you're going, wait a minute, I don't have to fucking clap.
I don't have herpes.
What is this? Like portraying it like I got the fucking chlamydia.
There were a few people that they showed kind of their faces.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, that's me. Yeah.
I saw you on the news today, darling. Are you okay? Do you have the clap?
Oh, I used to catch the clap so much. I used to go to the DD clinic. They knew me. It was like, hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Rich, how you doing?
Oh, Jesus.
Another swab of the dick? Pull your cock out.
Jesus. White underwear turning gray. It was hard. I used to get to clap. Back in the day.
Who were you fucking? Huh? What were you having sex with?
Anybody that would.
You've heard some of the stories.
Yeah.
It was back then. You didn't wear a condom. You didn't know. This was before AIDS.
Back then, I didn't wear a condom either. I don't think I ever caught the clap. You must have. Well, the crack and everything.
I don't know.
Guys up the ass.
No.
All right, as long as you got that rock.
No.
Whatever it takes, man.
Nothing that rhymes with rock.
Okay.
Whatever it takes, man. Hey, we commented about this when we were talking to Sean Hannity.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be moving on by Monday, I hope. I mean,
we keep trying. Every day we've talked about this, the Imus thing, and now it's kind of mutated into the Imus racial divide thing, and now we're kind of involved. There are people out there that want us gone.
It's going to be an ongoing theme, but I think by Monday we'll be able to finally, turn the corner.
We'll have some nice stories from Vegas and the virus tour kicking up
tomorrow night.
God,
that's insane. I'm like, wait a minute. We're in New York. It's crappy. It's going to rain all day, and we're going to be in Vegas and later tonight and doing a comedy show tomorrow.
Oh, can't wait.
It's nuts. And then fly Sunday.
Yeah, and then we come right back.
We're basically not even going to be in Vegas.
I got my game plan.
Yeah.
I got my game plan. I'm sleeping on the plane.
I'm going to try.
Then we get there.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat, and then we're going to hit the casino. And I'm going to gamble. And then I'm going to stay up kind of late. Then I'm going to sleep Saturday until the press conference. Then after the press conference, I'm going to take another nap until the show actually starts.
Good luck.
Why?
I don't know. I think between the press conference and the actual show, there's really not going to be much time.
Yeah, but there's no traveling to the venue. The room is like everything's all there in the same place.
Nice.
So I'm going to take a nap and then wake up for the show. We're going to do the show, and then what do? Stay up all night. Hit the casino again because our flight is early in the morning.
Right.
So then I get on the plane, sleep on the plane, which I always call the time machine. Yep. If you could sleep on a plane, it's like a time machine.
It is.
You go to sleep. You wake up, how much time feels like it passed? Nothing. And you're there. It's like a transporter.
Every time we travel, I get so mad at Anthony because then we get off the plane and he's like, well, what happened?
What happened?
We didn't take off yet? I'm like,
what happened? Where are we?
That's the worst.
Every bump, and I'm like, what is that?
Where are we, Kennedy? What happened?
You ever fall asleep on the plane and you wake up and they still haven't left and you already had an hour into your sleep, like there was a delay?
Oh, never. Oh, shit with that.
Because I sleep
all
the time.
Suck.
I sleep. If you're gambling, too, and I walk up to you, take your money off the table because I'm mush.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If you see me in the casino...
Well, that was one of your vices, too, that you had to give up, right?
Let me tell you, if you don't shoot craps, don't gamble.
No, I don't shoot craps. Hey, from the guy that had to give it up, maybe craps wasn't your game. If you were a winner at it, you wouldn't have given up.
Well, I got married again.
There you go.
I'm a winner at that.
Yeah, waiting for that one to crap out, too.
But it looks like you gave up cock for good.
That's
yeah, that's good.
So that's good.
New teeth.
Yeah, you don't want to mess up the new teeth. Hey, so we'll see everyone in Vegas.
It's going to be a killer show.
I hope you guys join us at the press conference. It could be cool. It could be interesting because, like Hannity said, you guys have been hiding all week. You've been in a bunker. He's not the only one that has noticed that, and we're already getting people. Well, we've been getting people calling our agent.
Our agent has told us.
Going, hey, they're doing that press conference in Vegas.
Gloom and do Bob again because I got the call. It was like,
Anthony, Bob, you know the press conference you're doing in Vegas? Yeah. People are going to be showing up from print and national and local media, and they're not going to want to talk about the virus, so they were going to want to talk about the Imus thing.
Yeah, Bob, and?
Just don't talk. Don't say the Rock. Oh, don't say the Rock.
I just ordered new tiling for the kitchen.
Oh, the tiling, and I'm trying to put some Belgian block around my driveway.
I decided to put in a new pool with a waterfall. Oh, my God, will you guys just shut up? Don't say a word.
Oh, wait, Bob, I have another call coming in. Hold on.
You guys going to Vegas? Could you want, like, I don't know, traveling buddy?
By the way...
Imus, it's Cole.
By the way, every poll... Where's the MSNBC poll? Every poll... there are more people saying that Imus should not have been fired.
Yeah.
By a lot more, by the way.
A lot.
But last night they said this is what America wanted.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I took from all the coverage last night. And just an observation, and I'm just saying it.
Just throwing it
I don't mean anything by it. Has anyone else noticed how many black people are on TV today? Oh, my God. Every time you look behind you.
Yeah, there's Jesse.
Everywhere.
Rainbow Push. And then there's a guy yelling at something.
That guy. I think that guy fought Ali back in the day.
See that white lady? She sleeps with a black eye.
A black... Yeah. Hey, so we brought up the Elizabeth Hasselbeck. She was on Hannity and Combs last night. This is worth playing. She is just a dummy. I mean, she has a TV show where you have to have some kind of intelligence. See, officially, we don't have to have intelligence on this show.
We can be as stupid as we damn well please.
We show it from time to time, but her show is all about trying to have intelligent points on things. And she was so out of her league last night. It was some fun TV. So we got some highlights.
It's just a blonde-haired chick from...
Yeah, she used to eat bugs.
The eye candy.
The eye candy. She's there because she's, hot.
They always have the eye candy there. And for anybody that thinks that's misogynistic.
And sexist.
And sexist, which,
They're going after sexism and racism right now.
They've always had eye candy on that show.
Yeah.
Debbie Matenopoulos, I think, was the first one. She turned out to be a blithering idiot, so they threw her off. And then they went through a couple of other people, but always the slender, young chick.
Yeah.
Because they want the young view on The View also. What's wrong with having...
What they're saying to the young women out there is that you don't really have an opinion unless you're really hot.
Unless you're kind of hot. If you're a young woman. Right. They had Star Jones,
who she was the overweight black woman, representative, lawyer. And then the young woman had to be slender, attractive, and really, her point of view was secondary.
Yeah, but next to Rosie, even Leona Helmsley looks lovely. I mean, next to Rosie Flintstone and Joy, between those two old ragmuffins.
But see, what they're telling America is like, you can be ugly as long as you have a brain, but you can't be ugly and not have a brain.
Right. Yeah. You better have something to say.
Right. Or just look really good on camera.
Or just look hot and sit there.
And boy, did Elizabeth proved that point last night. And she tries to, like, talk like she's intelligent. I was getting douche chills on the couch last night. I'm like, shut up. Go back to eating bugs.
What's your reaction?
I actually think today is a good day. It's a good day for history. It's a good day for the future. I think that the marketplace has spoken.
The marketplace hasn't spoken.
Listeners have spoken.
Wait.
Do you believe he shouldn't have been fired?
No, absolutely not.
Do you believe he should have stepped down himself?
I think he should have been taken a couple of weeks off and cooled down. First of all,
a couple of weeks off.
Wait a second. Let me ask you a question.
Let me
ask you a question.
We have to digest that.
Shut up.
She is so stupid.
Shut up. Let him ask you a question.
The marketplace talked and the listeners talked or spoke?
The marketplace didn't talk. Sorry.
And if you polled the Imus listeners, they would completely disagree.
Yeah, I think they would say.
As a majority.
Do you think his audience was ready to just bail out on him?
What'd you say? The listeners spoke?
Yeah.
Or something like that? No, they didn't.
The marketplace.
Actually, no one talks about something they really like.
The Dow Jones dropped completely.
The marketplace.
Right.
Wallbaums?
Right. The free market.
What is she talking about?
That's what I'm telling you.
Shut up.
I guess my problem and my issue is people are asking why now. Okay, I say why not now? Why not before? Why not before when he was making anti-Semitic comments? Why not before when he had thrown bigoted remarks out so easily? I think it's about time, and I think 2 weeks to go back to that is not a penalty. That is a vacation and nothing more than a promotion.
First of all, do you believe people can change?
I do believe
people
can change. Is Imus now the victim now? I don't care.
Well, I think actually, to some extent, I think he is a victim. I think he's a victim of this overreaction and a slippery slope, and there's this piling on.
He shot himself in the foot.
How dumb is she? Seriously.
Who is that broad? Anyway, who's that dunce? Stupid. She, obviously is, she's kind of cute. I call her a news bunny. That's what I call them, news bunnies. Actually, baby. I think he did call them.
Of course, and he should.
News chicks around NBC News bunnies.
She's saying...
I didn't care.
She's saying why not before anti-Semitic remarks and this and that. She worked with Rosie, who made the Asian slurs, and we've been saying it all week. Rosie should be able to say the Asian slurs.
People should be able to say whatever the hell they want. I don't care.
But for you to say that it's about time Imus got fired, and you work with Rosie, that's saying some pretty outrageous things on a daily basis at this point. And God bless her for speaking her mind. I don't necessarily agree with everything she says. It's hypocritical to think that she should slide and Imus shouldn't.
I never want anyone to think we don't want people to have all the freedom they want. I've said it before. I used to listen to Imhotep Gary Bird on WLIB here in New York. And it was one of the most infuriating, race-baiting, racist shows I ever listened to. The guests, it was nothing about, it was all about how the inferiority of the white man, how the black race will take over. It was really militant and angry, but I was fascinated by it, and I would listen to it every day just because it would infuriate me, but I couldn't get away from it. And I never for a second wanted them off the air. Mm-hmm. I felt, you have a right to say this. I was offended by a lot of the stuff, angered by it, but that's their right to say that. So why don't white broadcasters, Asian broadcasters, Hispanic broadcasters have the right to voice whatever opinion they want, regardless if it's offensive to somebody? That's the person that gets offended. That's their problem. They have to deal with it, and the best way to deal with it is to turn off the radio. That isn't even an option anymore. Have you noticed that isn't even an option that people bring up anymore?
No.
Remember, people used to say, "Hey, if you don't like it, turn off the radio." People don't even suggest that anymore.
And that used to be good enough.
That was good enough.
And it should have been good enough.
And now it's even more pertinent because a lot of people were saying this is bad because you're doing sex on the radio.
So, and we would say, well, just turn the dial. Well, I accidentally stumbled
always
upon
about
it.
accidentally finding.
But
the
now
program.
there's just personal points of view and opinions and race discussions that are genuine discussions. Comedy based in race, which you saw on the Comedy Central show, a Chappelle show. There's a Chappelle bit that I wanted to talk about on CBS that I couldn't because I couldn't say the name. It was a skit called The Niggers. And it was about a white family whose name happened to be Nigger.
It was hilarious.
And Chappelle did this, and it was hysterical. The mailman would come and go, more mail for the niggers. And it was a funny bit. But I couldn't even mention the name of the bit on CBS. Here on satellite, we have a little more latitude. But let me tell you something. People are going to be upset that I even said that. Why? Dave Chappelle could do it.
Double standard.
But they'll argue the double standard part too.
Like Patrice said earlier in the week, let's just acknowledge that's what they want.
That there is a double standard. They want it, accept it, and live with it. White people. That's pretty much what everyone's saying.
Sorry, not in America. Mm-hmm. Sorry, we'll always fight that one.
How about what Leonard Jeffries used to say at City College? Did you ever hear some of the stuff?
Oh, my God.
And they kept rehiring Leonard Jeffries, who at a City College where taxpayers are paying.
Inflammatory speech that was horrific.
Let's get into the fun. Hasselback, just a dummy on Hannity and Combs last night. It continues.
I can't speak from the perspective of a woman or an African American, but I wonder are people really scarred for life because of something Ima said? If you really believe
maybe not if he said it once, maybe they would be, but if he's allowed to continue saying it and his history definitely
why not give him an opportunity to change? Why not listen to what he said when he said it? That doesn't mean the dialogue can't change on my show.
I think some time off, maybe he'll realize that those comments shouldn't be made.
Well, he has time off, but it shouldn't happen this way.
He has time off, and it should be more than 2 weeks. 2 weeks is nothing more than a promotion. In between the time, he'd talk to the players. He'd have a lot to say when he came back, and people would be itching to hear what he had to say.
Hey, Elizabeth,
not anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Hey, honey, you should be called Elizabeth on your back. Get it? You know? Nothing but a sex object.
Dude, someone has to listen to that when she's not naked. Think about that.
Opie. Enough.
Think about that.
Sensitivity, Opie. That's misogynistic.
You have to actually sit there and listen to her.
You're a woman hater. You're a woman hater. Now stop it.
Someone has to listen to that.
You know, someone just sitting there and
she's so excited about this. She's so stupid.
Just put a fork in her eye as
if people don't think men at a party are standing there listening to her babble on and not just thinking about how can I get her into bed, you're insane.
You really are. Well, it continues.
You work on one of the most controversial shows in the country right now, one of the most opinionated. There have been outrageous things said on a regular basis on The View. I want Rosie to have free speech rights. Even I passionately disagree with her.
Let me tell you, if I had said what Imus had said, please fire me. If I said those comments, I am bold enough to say that.
Yeah.
I would put the respect of others in this country, especially where we have had a history of just persecution of large groups of people. Please fire me if I say those things.
All right, a little message to Elizabeth Hasselback. You wouldn't have to plead for that. They would fire you for that.
Don't worry about it.
The reason you're on The View. The reason you're on The View is that you're a hot piece of ass. That is it. That is it. So that wouldn't be your role on the show, so of course they would fire you right away for saying that.
I can't wait to hear how all this is going to be taken out of context when they record it and play clips of it.
What?
Our show.
Where?
Oh, on a militant station.
I don't give a shit about them.
I don't either.
I heard rumors that he was going to monitor us and he was going to call our show. Where was the phone call? Oh, real brave. What is that?
You can't persecute large groups of people by definition. This is true. Large groups of people.
Oh, what a tool.
Hannity gives her a beating, and he likes her. I mean, this could have been a lot uglier. He knew he was just playing.
Oh, yeah.
You know when you play with a little cute kitten, you don't want to get too rough?
Yeah, you just play.
But if it's that miserable older cat, you're going to throw it against a couple walls.
Yeah, the kitten's just playing, and you're like, oh, look, he's so cute. It's taking some swipes at me. I know I could crush its little head if I wanted to, but it's such a cute little...
That's the feeling I got where Hannity was just backing off, you know?
You know, I watched you, for example, when Rosie said Christianity is as big a danger as radical Islam. I watched her insult Asians on your show. She apologized for that. I think Rosie should be forgiven. I think she was sincere when she said, I didn't understand I was offending people. By that standard, should she have been fired?
It's certainly not my position to say if Rosie's are fired. It's my job to show up every day, and I...
Oh,
why is not your position?
Why not?
To say?
You have enough to say about Imus. Why don't you talk about Rosie, your coworker? What, another hypocrite? Holy fuck.
She's scared of losing her job. She's all balls out when it has nothing to do with her own security in her job.
Ugh.
Is that amazing?
Totally.
I was watching this last night, openly laughing, pointing, all this stuff. Like, what a dummy.
Jesus, I said some dumb things, but, you know.
She's an idiot.
That's complete.
Oh, my God. Voss is calling her stupid.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Rosie's are fired. It's my job to show up every day, and I love the responsibility. I take full pleasure in countering everything she has to say. Our show is called The View.
I understand, but Imus has a view, too.
That. And he certainly does it. It was answered.
What?
I don't know.
She's... Oh.
And then finally this. Elizabeth said she believes in consequences.
I understand your concern. I mean, we're in the same industry. I believe that, we're all out there saying things that we believe. But I do believe in consequence, and I believe the people have spoken. No. And I think that has to be respected as well. And
a small group of people have spoken. A couple of people have really spoken, but a very small group of people have spoken very loudly. Made noise, made threats, made used mob-like tactics against a company to threaten them with sponsorships. But I mean, it's not America that has spoken. It's not a large group of people that has spoken. Just get over that.
Yeah.
Stop lying.
Kelly from Charlotte, North Carolina. Opie, you pointed last night. Tough guy. And then she writes, one love, Kelly. I love doing that. I love not only laughing openly at people, I also like the
You got a point.
Yeah.
That really it closes the deal.
And I know she couldn't see me, but I could see her.
Yeah, and you were pointing.
And I was pointing and laughing.
I think that has to be respected as well. And the initial 2-week suspension, not enough to satisfy. And I honestly would have more respect for Don Imus if he would have said, you know what, I'm going to take a break. I obviously said something, and I need to reevaluate how I'm doing my job. If it's getting this sort of result and reaction, I'm going to take a year off.
A year off?
How long would you stay with a girl like this? You meet her in a bar, she's really good in bed, and you're like, wow, this is really cool. And then she starts yip, 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 yip. How long do you actually hang in there before you realize, wow, that's a fine piece of ass, but I can't take this.
This is a mistake.
How long does it take? A month, 2 months, maybe?
What? The third.
I'm asking. I don't know.
It takes the third hit in the head with the hammer. That's when you're out.
Just shut up.
Fuck her with a pillow over her mouth.
What is she rambling about?
And her voice too, though.
And she doesn't seem to be liberal in general. I think she's more conservative, right?
She's conservative, but
This is the safe way to go. It's the look at me, look how open-minded I am, and stop it.
Let's go to Phil in Jersey. Phil, what's up?
But there's inappropriate jokes going back and forth all the time.
Elizabeth went to school with me at BC, and I'm friggin' embarrassed that she went to Boston College. And she's been with Tim Hasselbeck, who used to be the quarterback of the Giants, backup quarterback, since Boston College. And he's dealt with her for 10 years, so she's going to be a fuck of a leg.
She must be unbelievable then, because I mean, he's like I think he's like a third stringer at this point.
He's a third string, but he could still get major pussy if he wanted to.
Major. You think he makes her get down in the center position and then just fucking lifts up that little rag over her ass and wham, hike?
Well, you better not say that. We're being monitored.
Oh.
We're being
monitor us.
We're being monitored.
Go ahead. First of all, this is XM.
I'm waiting for next week for Bush to get blamed for this Imus stuff. That's what's going to happen.
It's taking Bush out of the news. That's nice.
Yeah. And they love distractions, I'll tell you.
Boy, what about that Imus? How many people dead? But Imus. While Bridge is laying in a river.
this fucking a bomber got into the green zone, into the goddamn cafeteria, and killed a member of Parliament over there.
In the Parliament building, a bomb blew up.
Yeah.
Hey,
killed one of the muckety-mucks.
Hey, my brother Rob is in the audience.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I didn't even know there was people.
Wow, we got a pretty big audience today.
Where's Rob? Hey, Rob.
Lift your hoods up so we could all see you people. We can't... there they are. Okay, now we can see them.
Hello, white people.
Wow, the Grand Wizard. That's very nice to see you here for everybody that's monitoring.
See, we have audience.
We have our audience here.
An audience.
Dressed in their best.
Well, Dirty Joe says hi to you, Rob. Okay. All right, we're stopping the show to say hi.
This looks like
to give you a
fuck
message.
Dirty Joe. He's a faggot.
This looks like an infomercial for a weight loss product. Nothing.
The before?
Okay, so one bad one.
Yeah, okay. I'll give it to you.
Does anybody remember last night?
I got my Islander fan out there. Tough loss last night, bro.
Yeah, it was a tough one.
We're
we need DiPietro back.
Well, he's a little loopy still, though.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, and the guy behind you, he wants to promote something. I talked to him on the street. Too bad we didn't do it on the other side because we had a much bigger New York audience. What do you got, bro?
Yeah, I'm with the D.C. Generals Police and Fire football team. We play charity games, full contact, full pads football charity game. We're playing in Bayside High School tomorrow against the Department of Sanitation at 2:30. I don't know what they promote, but with us, we promote the concerns of police survivors. That's our chosen charity for our football team, and it's a good time.
They promote, please lock the lids on your garbage pails. Nothing?
I got it.
Nothing? I wish I could find my I'm embarrassed clip.
All right. Hey, all right, very good. Hey, polls all over the internet. MSNBC, should Imus have been fired? Yes, 26%. No, 22%. Suspension was enough, 52%. That's 216,000 votes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Only 26% said yes. CNN, career over, yes, 35%, no, 65%. That's 95,000 votes. GMA, should he have been fired? Yes, 3,297 votes, no, 12,670 votes.
Wow.
USAtoday.com, should he have been fired? Yes, 36%, no, 64%.
So where's the
people have spoken, Elizabeth.
The people have spoken and said he shouldn't have been fired.
These are the people, not how it's portrayed on your TV. These are actual people out there.
Broadcasters are being held hostage right now, and except for black broadcasters who apparently can say whatever they please. I heard some really nasty stuff directed toward white people last night on the militant station I was listening to. And they just say it with impunity. You know, there's no repercussions. No one calls them out on it. It's considered free speech when they talk about it. But if we mention race, we're white supremacists. I heard that word thrown around last night. Oh. White supremacist.
You want to play a couple of these
hell
clips when we get back?
Sure.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll play a couple clips.
Yeah, we could play clips, too.
We'll fight you with clips.
Yeah.
All right, it's Opie and Anthony.
The Opie and Anthony program.
Or that stupid XM stinger they do. What is it?
XM 202.
I gotta tell you, nothing says you're doing a really good radio show like seeing Bam completely asleep. Holy shit, Bam.
He just passed out.
I'm like, wow. Why are we even bothering? One of the guys in the studio audience is out cold. He heard the music and woke up, right? Be honest.
Yeah, it was during the break. Took a little nap. It was up early this morning.
Yeah, a bunch of pests got together on their own. Whoa. And kind of protested the Imus thing down where? At the Today Show?
Down at the Today Show, out in front of the Rockefeller Center area.
Yeah. How'd it go?
It went great. We had we came up with this plan late last night. Sent out a lot of emails, a lot of MySpace bulletins. And we got 35, 40 people out in short notice, and we're gonna be doing it again on Monday morning. And we're gonna
so Monday's the big push.
Monday's the big push.
I was telling these guys
everyone out.
if you're going to do this, we got to get some numbers. We got to get numbers down there. Because actually, you know what's funny? They showed like an aerial view of you guys. Oh my God, it was so lame from above. I know you guys tried hard, but I'm like, oof. Because they had you gated in or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They showed from above, and you guys were rocking, but there was like 15 people. And I know it was last minute. I'm not trashing anyone. I think it's beyond cool. You guys stepped up and tried to get something together last minute, but they had a helicopter because they heard about this, and they're like hovering.
That's the worst view you can have when you're like doing something, because you could have really a lot of people there, but from a helicopter view, it'll really look bad.
Even like 1,000 people from a helicopter
doesn't look like that much.
Looks bad if it's an open field or whatever, Yeah. But if it's 15 people and it's tight camera shots, it looks like a mob.
Yeah,
it's all how it's filmed.
Yeah, Channel 7.
But they all interviewed you guys, yeah.
Yeah, Channel 7, NBC 4, UPN 9, CNN, they were all there and, showed up and covered it pretty well. So, that was good.
And you're going to do it again Monday?
Yeah, Monday, 6:30 a.m., out in front of the Today Show, Rockefeller Center. And on Monday, we're going to be actually making a march over to CBS.
Ooh.
So,
you're going to march!
And then what?
And then
you marched over there and then go, all right,
we're here.
We're here, and
well, someone have an idea what we should do next? You should just march and then go to like a hot dog vendor and just pass out hot dogs.
Reverend Al got to talk to Les Moonves. You're going to get to talk to the janitor that is mopping the lobby. Well, we spoke with the janitor and
yeah.
Great.
But I mean, when it comes to it, the Pests do a really good job. You guys weren't misbehaving. You were just, making your voices heard this morning.
Yeah, it was a free speech issue, and, we actually, got a lot of people passing by. We're going on Monday, we're also going to have flyers to hand out, a bunch of other stuff. And so, people go to the websites, FBA, Whack Bag, wherever. You'll find all the info there, exactly when, where. But it's Monday morning, 6:30 a.m. outside the Today Show.
And you guys will be working this all weekend.
Yep.
I'm hearing rumors about Dateline. Is that happening?
Rumors is that one of the producers wants to do a story on it tonight. And I think Happy Typing Girl is going to be the one doing that.
Oh. Well.
Who's the spokesperson for all the news venues that come in?
I would say Happy Typing Girl.
Yeah, it was Happy Typing Girl and Franklin from Cypher Films for obvious reasons.
I don't know what the obvious reason is.
He's
but
black? Is that it? That's the only thing I can come up with.
Okay, that's obvious.
All right.
Obvious reasons.
We're leaving soon. You guys picked a bad day to come here. We're going to go to the airport soon.
We got to go to Las Vegas Rock. That's what they called it in the
where the hipsters go.
Right.
Right. Hey, Jason Whitlock, we read his article yesterday. He was on MSNBC last night.
Mm-hmm.
He's becoming a media star.
Yeah, he had a great take on.
He's a black columnist from Kansas City, and he's pushing back pretty hard, and people are paying attention.
And it wasn't an Imus kiss-ass piece.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it was just a very logical, well-written article.
And then they got him on TV because of that column he wrote, I guess, yesterday morning. It came out?
Yeah.
Don Imus is irrelevant to what's going on with black people. Don Imus is no threat to us. Don Imus will not shoot one of us in the street. He will not impregnate our daughter or our sister and abandon that kid and that woman. Don Imus is a bad shock jock who cracked a bad joke, apologized, offered a sincere apology, and two ministers who have needed forgiveness in their own life don't have the moral integrity to give this man the forgiveness that he has asked for in a sincere fashion. I'm not a Don Imus fan. Don Imus has attacked me on his show. But this is wrong. This whole thing has been handled horribly for black people and for all of America. It's turned into a terribly divisive issue when it didn't have to be.
I really believe.
Bravo, man.
I really believe starting probably Monday because people take the weekend off.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see the pushback. I don't think Imus is done. I have this weird feeling that something strange is going to happen. Something's brewing.
Percolating.
Yeah, I think the pushback starts Monday. I really do.
Oh, good.
I really do. You kind of just feel it right in the air.
Yeah.
People are like, wait, what? What did we just allow happen?
What happened?
Wait a minute, what?
These
Because they're starting to educate themselves and read a little bit more about this, and it takes a little time. I mean, this is right in our wheelhouse, as they like to say. So we were on it immediately. But then, like the people that, this isn't their top priority every day, but they're starting to, kind of Google a little bit, read a news article here and there, maybe pay attention a little more than they usually would to something like this on TV. And I think starting next week, you're going to see some kind of a pushback.
I like how
really
he brought that up, the whole, two people that needed forgiveness in their life.
Right.
Reverend Al and Jesse Jackson.
Right.
It was just very well done.
But these guys have driven this issue, and I would say to CBS, don't negotiate with terrorists, because that's what Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton are. They go around the country lighting fires and dividing people, and then start picking everyone's pocket. You never see them go back and apologize for the messes they make. Jesse Jackson today, right now, should be down at Duke apologizing to those soccer players rather than trying to turn these basketball players at Rutgers into the ultimate victims.
Yeah, lacrosse, but no, I mean he's a black guy saying this. The only white guy that said anything close to this on TV last night was Sean Hannity. Yeah. All the other ones were just running scared and telling anyone that would listen that they have black friends.
Why aren't they down there apologizing to the lacrosse players, Duke lacrosse players? They were victims. And talk about being scarred for life. Wow. Now those are some actions that will scar you for life. False accusations of rape made on young white men against a black woman like that. Unbelievable how that will affect your life.
And it took 395 days for them to have their names cleared, by the way.
Yeah.
395 days, and they knew they were innocent from day one.
Because they were trying so hard to find these guys guilty.
Right.
Yeah, and they knew from day one.
A lot of people asking me about Obama. David from Jersey. Opie, what are your thoughts on Obama calling for Imos's firing?
Yeah, you were kind of pushing for Obama.
Yeah, I would scream Obama and stuff. I'm so done with that.
Done.
I can't back any guy that doesn't understand the overall issue here.
Yeah, freedom of speech.
I'm done with him. I'd rather not vote once again. Give me a leader that I really want to vote for, and I'll be there voting.
I don't care what color a person is. If they side with Jesse Jackson and Reverend Al on a subject, they're off my radar as far as a vote goes. These are two lunatics. Reverend Al. Reverend Al. Holy shit, who would think in 2007 this guy would still be a force to be reckoned with and I have more credibility than he's ever deserved? The guy was the joke in 1987. Reverend Al was such a joke. He had the James Brown hairdo, the big fat jogging suit, and that friggin' Volkswagen hubcap medallion he wore around his neck all the time, screaming "No justice, no peace" no matter what happened.
Yeah,
and the guy is still around with this newfound credibility.
What I love about this show today, this was a massive fire, and most of the fire was out, but then it's like, it flamed up.
A little flame up. Because it just hits me.
I know, it's revving up again.
It hits me like I can't wrap my hands around it. That this guy is still a guy that people are looking to for leadership. My God, man. Whew.
Anyway,
Reverend Al, did you ever think back in '87 that in 2007 you'd still be he would still be relevant? Some kind of an issue?
Hey, that's up to the black people.
He's like a black Joey Buttafuoco, I thought. You kind of just go away after a while. They just disappear.
You think you'd be on like a VH1 reality show?
Yeah, remember me? Hi, whatever happened to Reverend Al Sharpton?
I want to point out that the black guy is laughing harder than anyone out there.
It's just, he's one of those clowns from the 80s that should have just disappeared.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with VH1's I Love the 80s. I'm Reverend Al Sharpton. You might remember me. That's where he should be. But he's there in a suit making, policy.
Amazing.
Oof.
Amazing.
and he gets meetings with. You know how hard it is to get a meeting with the head of anybody? He just walks in.
Because as that gentleman had just said, he's a terrorist. He uses terrorist tactics, threats. You give me what I want, or I will do this to you. That's using what power he has against corporations, individuals. They're threats. And when you use threatening tactics, it's mob. The mob does that. And terrorists do that.
And then you got Elizabeth Hasselbeck back saying there's still freedom of speech. No, there's not. There's all sorts of threats and of boycotts and stuff that makes people run away scared.
Well, there's consequences.
Unfortunately, it's kind of sad that some of these advertisers can't really hang in there. I don't understand it from their side. Maybe they would explain that to me, but it's kind of disappointing that they run away so scared at the threat of a boycott. Always. More Jason Whitlock.
I believe that most or a significant segment of black America is tired of Jesse Jackson. We look at his track record of his accomplishments, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there other than Jesse and Al lining their pockets. They've done nothing. If you compare Jesse and Al to Martin and Malcolm and what those guys accomplished, it's an embarrassment.
Man.
God damn.
That's the black guy clapping.
Absolutely. You know something? You look back at the times of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, when, racism was a serious problem. Those guys faced some real tough issues. They took leadership roles that were authentic leadership roles. People looked up to them. When they asked of their people to demonstrate in a certain way, people listened and made a difference. And you could see a visible difference that wasn't something that divided the country. It really did bring white and black people together and, at the same time, advanced black people. It's very hard to do. Yeah. If you're advancing black people, you're usually pissing off white people. That's the way it is now. Under the leadership of a Jesse Jackson and Reverend Al, you're dividing black and white while you're trying to advance black people. And it's divisive. It's a sure sign of people that are just publicity hogs. I wish black people would get more leaders that were like Martin Luther King. They're just not out there. The people are too self-centered and want the limelight more than they do the real goal, which is the advancement of your people.
And plus, Malcolm X has that cool poster with him pointing.
Oh man, isn't that great?
Yeah,
pointing the glasses.
Yeah. I met Malcolm X's daughters at Caroline's one night. I'm telling you, I was starstruck. I was standing next to Malcolm.
Did they enjoy your racist jokes on stage?
I was doing black humor, black shows then.
Were you?
Oh please, I know what I'm doing.
Did you say I'm Jewish? I know the struggle.
You did black humor in front of them?
Yeah, black audiences don't care. They like it because it's fun. They know if you're real. Black audiences
they actually do. I've seen Rich play in front of black audiences and do some really edgy black material.
They let you do it, man.
And they laugh their asses off.
They've accepted you, Rich.
Well,
we haven't yet, but
it's
they
okay.
have.
It's 6 years. I know. Maybe I have to stand on some stairs and do comedy again, or maybe walk into a Starbucks. I don't. Anyhow, but they're real. They don't. Do you think, like Patrice says, they don't give a shit about Artemis? They don't. Are you kidding me? They didn't even know who he was.
I don't care.
Before this.
No.
Yeah.
Please.
Whitlock finishes with this.
I don't understand how these black leaders, how our black leaders get these lifetime appointments like they're Supreme Court justices. We need to vote them out and bring in new leadership. It's not 1965. The problems aren't the same as they were in 1965. It's 2007. Black people have a new set of problems, and we need some new leadership and people with new solutions. These guys are trying to drag us back into the 1940s and 50s.
God damn. I said it before. Unless there are victims, unless black people are portrayed as victims, as helpless, as criminals, as a scourge, white man's burden, unless they're portrayed that way, Reverend Al and Jesse are out of work. And the fact of the matter is the large majority of black people in this country are working, family, just assimilate to American society. But that isn't what Reverend Al and Jesse like to point out. They like to point out the problems and how white people cause them, and that's what makes it so divisive and self-serving.
I think Oprah should be the leader.
Oprah does a good job. Well, Oprah's actually done some very good things.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Built a school in Africa. She uses her money to help. It's amazing.
Yeah.
What he was saying was Jesse Jackson, this leader, he's had a leadership role in the black community for decades. And where are some of his accomplishments? Where are these visual accomplishments that you could wrap your hands around and say, this is what he's done? I can't.
Right.
Sorry.
I've been to a lot of inner cities. I've never seen a Jesse Jackson Park anywhere.
Where's the Jesse Jackson Park?
No,
Even Magic Johnson built some movie theaters in the inner cities and stuff. You could look at something that he's done. And what the hell has Jesse and Reverend Al done?
They're professional extortionists.
Yeah, they extort. They rabble rousers. I like that word. They're rabble rousers.
Let's go to the phones. Chris in Massapequa with Chris.
O&A, how you doing? Love you. I love the show. Just want to ask you, are black guys allowed to tell dumb blonde jokes now?
Oh, I hope
Punching
so.
out.
I'd say no.
I hope so.
I would say no because that involves hair, which we know is a no-no now. Don't goof on hair. And it involves white girls, so that's race. And they're women.
Yeah.
So it's misogynistic.
It's more sexism.
No, there are so many things there that you would be offensive. No, they can't. No blonde jokes, sorry.
Let's go to Jason in Pennsylvania. Jason?
Yo, O&A.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's up?
Hey, man.
You know what's funny is, and it's pissing me off, everybody's saying that the term, nappy-headed hose. I hear it all the time now. I never heard it before. So I
know, right?
Yeah, I mean, kids in my family, 5, 6 years old, are walking around going, nappy-headed hose.
I didn't realize it could be so easy to offend somebody.
I don't think anybody
That's all we have to say?
No one knew.
No one knew.
Whitey didn't know.
Right.
If there's anything I want to apologize for, I'm not very apologetic. You all know that. But if there's one thing I'll apologize for, I'm sorry, we just didn't know. We didn't know that was such a bad one. Because it's ridiculous to think it is.
My friend Stanley, a black dude in my neighborhood, I went with him to the barber one, and he had the
barber shop.
He had the nappiest hair. The barber said, "Look, I cannot get a comb through this nappy shit. You comb your own hair." I mean, it was
okay. It's a black guy saying about black.
It wasn't derogatory back then.
Yeah,
there's all sorts of companies named after nappy.
But yeah,
so
it wasn't
black companies named after the word nappy.
Dude, I will show you pictures of me from when I was a kid with a huge afro. I had an afro, and I was called nappy-headed. I had a nappy head. That's what I did. I'm Sicilian. Half Sicilian. And the story there.
The Moors. Yeah, we all know about the Moors.
Let me tell you something. My great-great-great-great-great-grandmother fucked the nigger. Yes, she did. She did.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on, I'm doing True Romance lines. Everyone knows that
still
scene.
Okay?
Yeah, can we quote a fucking movie?
I guess not. Fabio.
Or will that clip be clipped off right after I said it?
Yeah, Fabio, Oceanside, what's up?
Morning, fellas.
Hey.
Before I get to my question, you guys equated Sharpton and Jackson to terrorists and stuff, but actually I think they're nothing more than ambulance chasers.
Yeah, that's been brought up a bunch of times, certainly.
But my question to you, Ope, is you mentioned, you feel something in the air about Imus, something's happening. Realistically, taking satellite radio out of the equation and assuming he comes back to New York radio, where would he fit? What station? What's their morning shows?
PLJ.
A PLJ.
Yeah, flat out PLJ. No one's going to touch him for a while. We know this game. I don't know how long this one takes.
He's radioactive.
But 3, 4. I think he's got at least 6 months. He'll pop
very
up.
least, yeah.
He'll definitely have a place on satellite radio. I don't know if he wants to do that, but I think there's definitely a station in New York that would pick him up. Absolutely. And that's what he's kind of. That's kind of what he's working toward right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ant and I, we would be like on the fuck you tour at this point. We really would. I mean, that's the reality. But you heard his wife on our show this morning.
Yeah,
she didn't want to talk about anything that's controversial with this situation because they're setting up for their next move.
Yeah, exactly.
They know it's not over. They just got to play it right.
It seems like Q104 is the de facto station every time someone gets fired as a place where they might end up.
No, there's PLJ makes a lot more sense. There's people we know that are kind of taking over that whole thing, and that would probably be the place. If I was a guessing man, I would say that.
All right, and a frunkus
betting
to
man,
you.
whatever. All right, thanks.
And a frunkus to you too, sir.
We got to get out of here in a couple minutes. But Tad in Illinois, what's up?
Hey, man, I got a new term for you guys. I've been using the last couple of days. I think you might like it.
Yeah.
Constitutional terrorists. That's what these guys are. I don't know what they think they're doing. I mean, it's just a disgrace the way.
His catchphrase didn't go over very well, so he's trying to.
We got you.
I'm sorry I did that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
I'm embarrassed that I did that.
Yeah, you should be.
Get Her Done didn't hit right off the bat.
Get Her Done. You got to work it.
It didn't hit right from the beginning. I know the struggle didn't hit.
No.
Yes. By the way, we've been on the radio over 4 hours now, and we haven't even mentioned Governor Corzine. Oh, my God. You get in this horrific accident, and no one is paying attention to it.
Jersey's Governor Corzine.
I mean, it's horrible, trust me. But the guy pretty much
critical condition.
Almost died yesterday. He was on his way to the meeting with Imus and the Rutgers women's basketball team.
Yep.
And got into a horrific car accident. Horrific.
Really wrapped himself up. Broke his femur.
Yeah.
Which is the big bone in your leg. That
Brian
thing
Regan
don't snap very easy.
Brian Regan does a bit on that. That's the most pain you could ever do to your body is breaking the femur bone.
Broke his femur, some ribs, his sternum.
It broke right through the skin.
Compound.
And his ribs.
Six ribs.
His sternum, they had to put a tube in him.
Cracked vertebrae, I think.
Yeah, he really got fucked up.
Lacerations everywhere. He's lucky to be alive. He's on a feeding tube. They're saying 3 to 6 months recovery minimum. And no one is talking about this today.
Yeah.
That's
the way they're talking about it is tying it in because he was on his way to go see Imus.
Yeah, they're pretty much blaming Imus on this one too.
Yeah,
Imus
to blame for almost killing Jersey's governor.
He's going to the hospital tonight to apologize.
Yeah, he must have. I'm sorry about your leg. My fault.
I want to make another prediction. Someone's bringing it to our attention. Lucas Dog from Charlotte. Opie, Halle Berry's next movie's called Napoli Ever After. Are they going to change that name?
Yeah.
You watch what Hollywood does. Absolutely.
Napoli Ever After.
Absolutely, they changed the name of that film. You'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
If the atmosphere wasn't so volatile, I might come up with a few alternative names for the movie. But we're running under the radar here.
Use the home version of the Opie and Anthony.
Right, there's a home version. Spin the spinner, see what it lands on. You know all the choices.
Let's go to Kenny in Phoenix. Kenny.
Hey guys, we're just getting ready. We're actually at rental car place right now, trying to get a car so we can come out there. We got our tickets to Vegas and everything, but I got a question. My brother, he's a huge fan. We kind of spent our whole bank account getting hotel rooms, getting cars and stuff. He can't afford any tickets, so I was wondering if you guys could help.
So you set everything up to go to Vegas, paid for everything to get there to see us, except for the tickets?
No.
No.
One ticket.
One ticket. We have our tickets. Last minute, my brother, his girlfriend decided, hey, we'd like to. He's a huge fan. They didn't think they'd be able to go. They didn't think they'd get the time off. We have our tickets, but he couldn't get any tickets.
Here's a little indicator. Let me give you a little indicator of your chances here. I asked for a couple of tickets recently, last minute, and Kenny told me he doesn't think so. So No, actually, yeah, it was a friend wanted to. They just don't. It's a lot of tickets.
Is your brother going to be in Fort Lauderdale next weekend after this?
As a matter of fact, no.
I would have got him into the Improv in Fort Lauderdale the following weekend for free.
Well, if he's there, I'm sure he would like not to go.
Kenny, I don't know. You see us by the pool. Maybe we can do something. I really don't know what to tell you.
All right, well, I'll definitely see you guys there, and you'll be by
Look
the
for
pool,
us
buddy. I
poolside.
won't be at the show.
We'll be the guys with the big fat cocks.
All right, we got to. We got to leave.
Wasn't meant as a joke.
We got to leave.
Yeah.
For the airport. We're going to be on the radio tomorrow, though. The channel's going to be on live all day, right? Or most of the day. Starting at what time? Rich Voss is doing some of the coverage tomorrow.
And me and Bonnie are doing 2 o'clock. We're starting at 2. I think Bobby's coming down, and
all the comedians, and then we got guys back here that are going to just keep they're going to keep the channel on all night. We're going to try to do some stuff backstage, I believe.
Yeah,
right.
Sam.
So in between comedians, we'll be talking on the radio here.
Dan and Sam
will be back in New York. Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Down the fort.
Are you guys hosting the whole thing, sort of?
Yeah, we're hosting starting at 9 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah,
and
it's early.
Yeah, on the bright side, we then go to 3 in the morning. So.
Oh wow!
But the 9 to 12 is just going to be sort of checking in with Vegas, a lot of worst stuff.
Yeah,
and then a full out Dan and Sam show starting at midnight.
Wow! All right, busy day.
Look how quick they bail.
Yeah, well, they get kicked out.
Guys, thank you.
We kick them out.
Thank you.
There they go.
Thanks for showing up early this morning and supporting the cause.
Good.
They're doing it on Monday. Check out the websites to see what's going on, I guess. But, yeah, we got to get out of here. We got a plane to catch, and just remember that we'll be on off and on all day tomorrow. So,
yeah,
a lot of excitement to be had in Vegas.
Is there still a last-minute push we could give for Imus's charity?
Yeah, it's on the pad data. Imus Radiothon, 877-877-6464. This helps sick kids.
Yeah, if you haven't donated yet and you're an Opie and Anthony fan, really, whatever you could give, just give them a call. Or I guess you could go to the WFAN website and contribute that way. But, yeah, it's a great cause and shows you support for this show and for Mr. Imus. And it's, a good cause.
All right, man. We're going to see a lot of you guys in Vegas. Rich, thank you so much. We'll see you in Vegas. Are you flying with us?
No, I'm flying tonight. We're flying tonight.
Oh, okay.
I got to go to my daughter's prom.
I got a cheap fare.
No, I got my daughter's prom. I got to go take pictures.
Is. How old is she?
16.
16, so it's what, junior prom?
She's going with a senior to junior prom.
Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man,
wow. God, do you remember what that was like? Remember being a senior.
The whole night was
prom with the junior.
The whole night was spent trying to touch Patch.
You
know
just
that, right?
want to fuck this girl.
No, listen.
I hope she has a lot of karate moves, man.
And she's like, do you have a recent picture of your daughter? Let me see this one. Let me see this one, because I've seen pictures of them when they were younger, and they're very cute girls. Let me see if I could get a little picture of this. Which one? The
dark hair one.
The dark hair. Holy shit. Your fucking daughters are so hot. Let me say, God damn, boss. Let me say. No.
You gotta see the
I gotta ingrain it in my head a little longer.
Dude, the last time I saw a picture of your daughters were when we were in Miami playing at the Doral.
Oh, they were lit. Yeah,
they were. Dude, look.
Oh, it's over, Johnny.
So done.
Dude, tonight, legs up in the limo, man.
Dude, it doesn't even matter. She obviously has lost her virginity.
Yeah,
looking
like you can tell. You can tell just by looking.
No, I got good kids.
Look at your daughter's tits.
Stop it! What's wrong with you?
Nothing. They're great.
You gotta see. Jesus, that's my kid.
I know.
They're not. They're breasts. Listen to me.
They're nice.
Jesus.
Wow.
Jesus.
Are you ever going to learn where the line is?
I know. What do you say?
I'm sorry. That just came out. I want to apologize to Rich Voss and
what
his
pisses
daughter.
me off, I don't know what daughter you were talking about.
Oh,
it's kind of creepy, though, because she's beautiful, obviously, but then you see a little Rich Voss in there, you're like, oh, my God. What the...
Oh, like a little Voss resemblance.
You're looking at a pretty little girl, and then if you focus too long, you're like, oh, my God, it's Voss's eyes. Jesus.
Wait, is she drooling?
Right. No, well.
I hope she's got Voss's hands so her date's dick looks bigger.
Oh,
Anthony. I can't. You know, here's the thing. I set myself up for this. I can't get mad, and it's humor. It's humor. I know it's my kids, but listen to me.
They're beautiful.
They're good kids. They play ball. You know.
Oh, good.
They might even play for Rutgers.
Someday.
That's what they want.
Dare to dream.
Hey, runner-up line of the day brought to you by BowDogFight.com's upcoming pay-per-view Clash of the Nations. It's on the 14th. That's tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow night. For more info, check out BowDogFight.com/PPV. Here's the runner-up line of the day.
Like, no, we don't want to go to Albuquerque. You know, it's nice there. Dry heat. It's wonderful. No.
But when you were off the air, you had a lot of time in your hands to go to the book. Didn't you go to the Joe Franklin book signing, too?
All right.
Yeah, Opie was constantly down at that goddamn bookstore in Huntington.
Hey, there you go, Rich Voss.
Joe Franklin.
Runner-up line of the day for Mr. Voss. Here is your here's the line of the day.
Here comes the line of the day, line of the day.
It's 2 a.m. I got to get up at 4.
I'm bored. I'm just watching the Lost box set. This show's amazing. Never saw it when I was on the air because I was had to go to sleep early.
I'm tired. I got to go to sleep.
Thinking of putting a pool in. Thinking of like swimming. What do you think about that? Is that
There we go.
Always funny. It's still funny.
All right, we got to go. We'll see some of you guys in Vegas.
All right, man. Have a good one.
People are confused. The channel's going to be live starting tomorrow at 2 Eastern Time?
No. Just keep this channel on all the time.
So it's 2 Vegas time, so that's 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
Correct.
Oh, it's, yeah.
Wait, the hours are different in Vegas than here?
Well,
Someone's impossible.
Someone's confused. So starting around 5 p.m. on the East Coast, and then you figure out the math as you move west.
All right.
This channel will be live with Rich Voss, Dan and Sam, and I will be jumping on Mike and the rest of the comedians, okay?
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Guys, this was a crazy week. Thanks a lot for listening to us.
Absolutely.
It means a lot. We'll turn the corner drastically, hopefully, by Monday.
Get back to
this will be
jokes.
This will be a cause that we will continue to
champion.
Well, to pay close attention to, certainly.
Or just to forget.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Monday. Imus who?
Yeah, right. What? Who was that? Watch how fast we stab him in the back if we get offered his markets.
Oh, no kidding.
Hey, okay, well, sold. We'll take him.
And Imus for third mic.
Yeah, that too. He's going to be on our show, I have a feeling, in the very near future. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
I know I speak like an idiot. Do you? It's all about me. Is it? I was assaulted. Were you?
We're brilliant broadcasters.
Are we?
You are out of your mind.
Am I?
That sounds real good.
Does it? I'm thrilled. I'm excited. Am I?
I thought I heard Negro.
Did you?
It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
Is it?
Line of the Day is brought to you by BowDog. If you want to vote for Line of the Week, go to iliketolisten.com.